Let's take a look at our previous week here. Hang on one second. I am going to make a slight adjustment here. All right, there you go. All right, so for our pick'ems for last week, we had the top one. Remember, these matchups are set in sequential order in terms of like in chronological order. So like what day, what time will these matchups be? So we had some college football. We had Notre Dame versus the Blue Devils. Notre Dame winds up winning it 27-13. 84% of chat and me and I chose Notre Dame to win that game. So Notre Dame winds up taking it. Lakers versus Rockets. It was game 5. The Lakers wind up taking that one 119-96, and they advanced into the Western Conference Finals, where they were waiting for to determine who the winner was going to be between the Clippers and the Nuggets, which we're going to get to later today as well. And so Lakers end up winning it. The Rockets just didn't have enough juice. It didn't work out for them. Their 6-man house was ordered to leave the bubble just prior to this game because he had an uninvited guest inside the bubble that he snuck into his bedroom. And so bazinga. So anyway, for UFC, we had Watterson versus Hill. I went with Hill. Michelle the Karate Hottie, which I said she had the better nickname. I did say that, but I went with Hill because Hill is nasty. Like, she's just a machine. But it winds up going to decision, and the Karate Hottie winds up winning it. 55% of chat went with Watterson, and obviously I did not, so I wound up getting that one wrong. Then we had Everton versus Hotspur, and Everton winds up winning that one 1-0. 84% of Twitch chat went with Hotspur, and boom. So 1-0 for Everton on that one. That was for Premier League as well. Vikings versus Packers, or Packers versus Vikings. This one was 43-34. I had the Packers in this one. Literally, as I was closing the pick'ems, Hot Soup told me something about the Vikings, the fact that they re-signed Cook, and I thought to myself, this dude's going to play inspired football. He's going to be happy, right? And I switched my pick to the Vikings. And I told him, if the Vikings don't win, I'm going to blame you. So I do not take responsibility for this pick because I went into it picking the Packers, okay? So I cannot be held responsible for this. 61% of chat went with the Packers. Oh, I told you I'm going to blame you, and I am blaming you. It's totally your fault. You killed me on that. Islanders versus Lightning. So this was a really great series. Islanders extended it to a game 6, if I remember correctly. So this was game 4. So the Lightning wound up taking this one 4-1. Islanders win game 5. So the series at that point was 3-1. Islanders force a game 5. It goes 3-2. And then in game 6, in overtime, the Lightning score and advance. So I mean, the Islanders, dude, like crazy heart. And it's really funny not really funny, but so after I saw, so that night I was watching, I think this was a Thursday night game, if I remember correctly. So it was Islanders versus, barely trying, man. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so I'm back, and the Celtics ain't looking too hot. Turnaround game today, though. Listen, we're going to talk about it for sure, Barely. Barely, thank you for the 2 months. That's number 1. Number 2, thank you for coming back. Number 3, let's talk some NBA, okay? We're doing our pick'ems right now. We're going through the pick'em results. We're going to announce the winner, Barely. Then we're going to reopen the pick'ems for this week. And I'm going to open a straw poll so you guys can decide what you want to talk about. NBA, NHL, soccer, or NFL. Okay. So I'm locked and loaded, dude. I've got so much for you today that it's ridiculous. So just hang in there while we get through this stuff, and then let's get into it, dude. There's a lot to talk about. So anyway, so this was Thursday night. There was an NFL Thursday night football. It was Cleveland versus Cincinnati, Heat versus Celtics NBA, and Lightning versus Islanders game 6. With a hockey game. So I was watching all 3 of these games simultaneously. It's so crazy the amount of sports that I have to watch. But so anyway, so watching all 3 of these, and so anyway, overtime goes into overtime. Lightning end up scoring, and in the post-game press conference, before the post-game press conference, I was writing my notes on what I thought about the Lightning Islanders series. And what I put down for the Islanders was pride. Like, they should hold their heads up high and be prideful, because what they achieved in this playoff run is very impressive. Well, in the post-game presser, that's what the players came out and said. They were like, look, this is devastating, but we have so much pride in what we were able to do, And so I'm really happy to hear that, because a lot of times guys will, he was ready to cry, right? Like, so he was overcome with emotion. Those guys busted their butts. But still, they shouldn't have been there. The Islanders weren't meant to be in the conference finals. Like, not based on what they had done during the regular season, but they pulled it together, man. And it was a great run. Buccaneers versus Saints. The Saints wind up winning 34-23. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had several turnovers. Tom Brady threw 2 picks. One was a pick 6. They had a special teams miscommunication that resulted in a fumble. And the Bucs defense actually tightened up in the second half. They played pretty well in the second half. The Bucs offensive line had some serious issues. Serious issues. So we'll talk more detail about this game when we get to the NFL stuff. And we did talk about it a bit during our power hour during the week, but the Bucs did have some glaring issues on the offensive side of the ball, specifically the offensive line. And so those are things that have to get adjusted, or it's going to be a really long season for Tom Brady. So he's going to be on his back a lot, if not. So they've got some issues at the guard position and at the tackle position. So basically their whole offensive line almost. So anyway, but the Saints wind up taking it. They're 1-0. Great game for them. The Saints defense looked nasty. They look nasty, dude. Anyway, Stars versus Golden Knights. So the Stars wind up taking the series, advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals. Golden Knights, which were they were the team that I was giving the edge to in the Western Conference. But I picked the Stars because the Stars were just so... Well, I didn't pick them in the series, but I picked them in this specific game because the Stars are so explosive. They're so explosive. But I recognize that the Golden Knights seem to have kind of a more balanced approach. And so I knew that there was a shot for them. And it was a tight series, right? They wind up winning this one 3-2. So there's that. Heat versus Celtics. This was game 1. It was Tuesday of this week. And we had somebody in this channel last Saturday when I was making this pick that said, anybody that thinks that the Miami Heat are going to win this series are out of their mind. And I was like, what? It's interesting to me. I heard somebody else say this week that nobody expected the Heat to even make the playoffs this season. And I was like, this person does not know what they're talking about. And it's crazy because this person makes like $1 million minimum a year talking sports. And this person literally uttered that no one expected the Miami Heat to even make the playoffs this season. I mean, apparently you have not sat down to like rank the teams in the Eastern Conference, because the Eastern Conference is really easy to make the playoffs. So I was really more and more like, now that I'm having to watch all this stuff and like watch every single game and whatever, you know, just to be able to put content together for this show, I realize that a lot of these national guys, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Like zero clue what the hell they're talking about. I'm not saying like picking games, right? Because picking games is like, it's such a toss up, right? Anybody that tells you that like, oh, you know, I've got like this 80% average, like, listen, you got lucky, because picking games is really hard. Okay. But to not be able to recognize who has the best likelihood to get into the playoffs overall, I don't even know. And then like listening to them when they were like, oh yeah, because these teams are evenly matched up. And I'm like, no, they're not, you know, like not for this series. I think the Heat Celtics are actually pretty evenly matched. So I don't know. A lot of these people just have no idea. Lots of punditry is obviously scripted to generate argument. Oh, okay. I got you. What's up, Aqua? How are you, man? Aqua, thank you for being so active in the Discord, man. Thank you. People be crazy. I won pick'ems once. Clearly, it's not that hard. It is actually. It's really hard. And it basically shows you that even a fool could end up being right, because things just go completely haywire. Especially now that the NFL is here, right? Because the NFL is insane. Undisputed, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome, Big Bear. Welcome back, dude. How's it going? Oh yeah, so anyway, so Celtics, so I had picked the Heat in game 1. The reason why I chose the Heat was because I felt like the Heat had more time to prepare, because they had finished their previous series first. They were going to be on more rest, and I felt like the Celtics were going to be gassed, you know, that on an emotional high from winning a game 7 against the Raptors. I thought it was too close to the end of that series, and they would kind of be they'd be flat coming off of that, right? That wound up not being the case. I feel like the Celtics did a great job everywhere except for, I mean, I actually, like, I'm not even going to say except for coaching in game 1. Like, I just feel like overall, it was just a really good game, you know? And I think the Celtics outperformed my expectations for game 1. That isn't to say that I didn't expect them to play well. It's just that I just figured any team going into that situation was going to struggle, and it just didn't seem like they struggled at all until the fourth quarter. So anyway, they went into overtime too, right? So like, that's any man's game, you know. So some bad decision, some bad decisions, and I think there was a coaching mishap there, but that's not a preparation thing. So we can go into coaching, and we will when we talk NBA this week, or not this week, today. I'm sorry. Dodgers end up beating the Padres. Of course, I got that one right, but so did 82% of chat. I know we had a Padres fan in here last week on Saturday that was really pumped about his team. It was a high-scoring game, 7-5. The Dodgers wind up taking it. And then, of course, Thursday Night Football, which we're going to talk about today for our NFL segment as well. Browns versus Bengals. We got to see Joe Burrows versus Baker Mayfield. And the Browns end up winning it 35-30. And you look at that and you say, oh, that was a close game. It really wasn't. My hats off to Burrows for trying to make plays, but this game wasn't that close. The Browns are still really bad, just so you know. The fact that the Bengals were able to put 30 points on this team is insane to me. However, the Browns defense was all over Burrows. Burrows had no protection. But somehow, some way, they wound up. Some of the points were in garbage time. Right? Like, it was like a minute left and they were out of the game, you know, so like maybe they kind of take it easy. But the Browns defense was swarming, super aggressive. But Burrows still found a way to get points and make passes. But my heart goes out to that man, because he's going to have a rough year. Yeah, Burrows is going to have a rough one, because One of two things is going on there. Well, actually, it could be a few different things. Either his offensive line is atrocious, or he has very poor pocket presence. And what I mean by that is he's putting himself in bad situations in relation to where the pass rush is coming from, and so he's taking unnecessary hits. He got hit so many times, and some of those tags were they were heavy. So he could end up getting injured this season if that's how if he continues to deal with what he was dealing with on Thursday night. I would predict that Burrows is going to end up injured this season because he is getting destroyed. What I will say is that the Browns felt like they were playing at a different speed than the Bengals. The Bengals looked very slow. Very, very slow. Their offensive line was slow. Like at every facet of the game, they looked very, very slow. Is this the Men in Tights sports event? No, the Bengals versus Brown. No, that's up there. No, we're not there yet. No, we'll see in a second, Half Face. I'll show you in a second. How this chat said the Spurs to win 84% when they didn't sign anyone and Everton signed so many good players. This chat knows about Premier League football. So Charlie Adam, if you're still there. So for me, I'm still learning. So I rely heavily on chat. So I've never really followed soccer. I played when I was really, 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 really young, but I don't really follow soccer. So I rely heavily on chat to teach me about Premier League and champions and all that stuff. So if you think they're all wrong and they don't know what they're talking about, then I need you to start hanging out here more, and I'll just listen to you, and then we'll laugh at them together. Yeah. So I need like a soccer coach. You know what I'm saying? And then we can make fun of chat if you're down with that. But no, in all seriousness, over the last 2 months, I've started to learn soccer because chat has been helping me. So chat tells me oh, these are the games you should watch this week. And so then I watch those games, and then I'm trying to learn the sport on my own, or on my own watching the games. And then I jump in the Discord and I ask questions and whatnot. So this isn't a show where I know everything, and I don't pretend to think that I'm always right or anything either. This show is, we're trying to watch sports together. We obviously have our pick'ems and whatnot, but I'm also learning from you all as we go along, and you guys dictate the pace of the show as well. So I think, I don't know, I had a guy come in here once, and it was something with UFC, and I'm not a UFC pro or anything, and he's like, this guy's an idiot or whatever, And so, I think what it is that people generally will watch things on television and think to themselves, oh, this guy knows, he's an expert, and he's really not. And so I don't pretend to be something I'm not, and I don't fake the funk, So I'm just very open about who I am, what my background is. And we're just a bunch of folks on here talking sports, having a good time. It's like if we were at the bar chilling and we're all kind of saying oh, but what about this guy and this team? And, so it's more of a, just a fun atmosphere that we're trying to run here. So anyway, but yeah, so that winds up being our pick'ems for last week. And we'll take a look here. Obedient Flamingo. Very fitting, by the way. Obedient Flamingo. So Obedient Flamingo is our code name for the winner here. And we actually had 2 groups with 9 picks correct last week. However, we do have a tiebreaker here because this is not football, okay? Because we don't believe in ties here. That's legit, just so you know. So all the European dudes can get triggered right now. Ties suck. There should never be a tie. You should always have a winner. Anyway, so our tiebreaker is based on when you got your picks in. And so let's take a look at who our winner is here. The Twins 30 ends up being the winner. Echo Stream ends up getting 9 as well Rudis and Nick Zane as well. So the Twin 30 was our winner last week. So Twin 30, I don't know if you're out there. You did win a $10 gift card. Either way, we'll contact Twin, let them know what's up, and just find out where Twin wants that gift card to. But let's also take a look here at where everybody else was. We had a couple of the tried and true up in the upper echelon. Obviously, Echo, Nick, Deadman was 8. Average Dad Gaming had 8. BJ was at 8. Teargrass, APC, Josh King, notable. So we had some people in here that like did pretty good. And then of course I got 7 because I'm the best. Which if you might not realize it, but 7 is better than 9. And so obviously I did better than everybody. Stamina came in at 7. Silent, Salty Gear, Chubby Panda. Man, a lot of our group was very average. Because your 7 is actually not as impressive as mine. So mine's great, but yours is average. Suspense, Housen, Ford. Man, a lot of people were in here. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Oh, Eddie. Very embarrassing, though. Very embarrassing for the Alliance. So the Alliance couldn't even be average. They were below average. I'm not surprised by that, actually. Eddie and Hot Soup here in this level 6. Toronto, Scoobs, Aqua, JT, Yo Fonz. A lot of folks in here. Yeah, this is interesting. Look at Scoobs in here. Scoobs, are you embarrassed? Because I'm embarrassed. Can I join the Alliance? Yeah, if you want to be a scrub. Let's see here. Bothetic came in at 5. Letho Jerks. Letho Jerks has been a winner here before. Apex the OG. Shout out to him. Mr. Money. Tom. Alpha. Big P. So yeah, so we had some folks in here. Zod. Denton. Yeah, Barkley. Vikalu. Charlie. Charlie, you really need to come up with a new method, buddy. I'm just saying. That scam you're running on the pick'ems just ain't working for you. Taco at 3. Patch Adams at 2. Adams. What? Oh my gosh. What is happening here? Please tell me that your pick'ems broke when you did it, Patch. I was what? Maybe we shouldn't shame people. But Patch, I feel like I'm gonna shame you. I'm just saying. What's up, Hyde? How's it going? Yeah, Patch. I mean, there's a fine line between being the worst and the second to worst, and you are straddling that line right now. Dallas fans wound up with 1. I wonder what the 1 game was. Sheesh. Homeless Potato got 0. So a couple people got 0. Look at that. Anyway, so those are the results for this past week. Again, congratulations to the Twin 30. Honorable mention to Rudas, Echo Stream, and Nick Zane. We'll get in touch with Twin. I don't think Twin's here, so we'll get in touch with Twin. Pick'ems. Boom. This is this week's Pick'ems. Right here. What's up, Wisconsin Wookie? Is it too late to pick? No, not at all. Not at all. It's wide open right now, Wisconsin. Zubat, what's up? Denslight, how are you? Teargrass, Dens, you did great. Teargrass, I know. What up, Stamina? How you doing? Welcome back. In England, they call soccer football. They really get offended with soccer term. That's okay, Deadman. That's okay. I know. Trust me. Every time I say soccer, they get mad. They get mad. Wait a second. Patch said, I'll teach you soccer. Let me be your sensei. Patch, I need you to do better than 2. I'm dead. I got the soccer pick right. What's up, Agent? How do I do this? No problem. I got you right now, Agent. Hold on. Let me school you, baby. Let me school you on this. All right. Sorry, I was crying from laughing about that. All right, so this is for Agent and anybody else in chat that's never done this, okay? We also have a video for this, but I'm going to do a quick breakdown. And I'll probably do another breakdown later, but we'll start here. So the way the pick'ems work, actually, first, if you win the pick'ems, you get a $10 gift card. If you're in the US, I prefer it be an Amazon gift card. But if you're outside of the US, then it needs to be a Steam gift card because I have restrictions. But within the US, I have a little bit of flexibility. So anyway, so you'll win a $10 gift card if you can win this. You have to be the opposite of Patch, though. Okay? Patch, I'm going to ride you all day today, just so you know. You are like you're the guy sitting in the front at the comedy club. And the comedian has just like you got up and went to the bathroom and that comedian has decided that he's just gonna make your life impossible today. All right. Anyway, what's up, Hapless? So the way this works is you have a series of games or matches that are taking place throughout the week, right? Each one of these matchups has a letter corresponding to them, right? So the Lightning has the corresponding letter is U. And if you go all the way down this row, the Stars, their corresponding letter is V. And so the way you do your picks is you type in right into chat. You do it right from chat. You type in !picks space and then all the letters for the teams or the fighters that you think are going to win. So for example, and then you're going to do it all in one shot, just like Dense Light just did. And you can just condense them all. It almost looks like a broken word, right? Because it's a word that doesn't make any sense, right? It's not actually a word. It's just a series of letters that make it look like it makes a word. So anyway, so you want to go through and you just want to pick the ones that you think are going to win all one shot. It's a stroke word. There you go. It's like you fell asleep on your computer. We had a couple people like that yesterday, actually. So yeah, so you make your picks and you're good to go. And then if you want to confirm your picks, you type in !my picks, and then you're going to get a feedback in chat that's going to tell you what you did. Okay. Now our goal every week is to get to 100 viewers to enter in the pick'ems. So if you're out there and you're bashful or whatever the case may be, I need you to set that aside. I need you to just get that confidence, take a deep breath, okay, and type this stuff in chat. So our goal is to always get 100 viewers in the pick'ems. And so far, in 4 weeks, we have not had less than 100. So I'm counting on you personally to help us get there, okay? Really need your help. Really need your help. I'm going to do my picks as well. So we've got Hurricanes versus Cardinals. 70% of chat has selected the Cardinals. This is very interesting. I'm going to go Hurricanes here. Heat versus Celtics tonight. I cannot pick this game right now. I need time. We're going to have to go over our NBA stuff before I can make this pick. I cannot make this pick. I just can't do it. I cannot make this pick right now. I need time. I need time. I already said I'm going to go with the Cowboy for the UFC match. I think I'm going to go Woodley. Although when last seen, I liked Covington, but I'm going to go Liverpool here. I don't think Chelsea has the juice to beat Liverpool. Rams versus Eagles. I should go Rams here. But the Eagles will be at home. And although home field advantage is not as important right now, but the Eagles will be at home. And I don't think the Eagles are going to drop 2 in a row. I don't think so. Seahawks versus the Patriots. I'm going to go Seahawks here because that's the safe pick. But we're going to talk about the Patriots later. This is actually one of my preview games. Manchester versus the Wanderers. I'm going to go Manchester City. I think that's an easy pick for me. Saints versus Raiders. Again, I feel like the Saints are the safe pick there. Lakers versus Nuggets. The Nuggets looked so bad last night. This is going to end up being game 4, though. So this is... I could see the Nuggets coming back and winning game 2, maybe. Because they're going to be really pissed off. Like, really angry. But game 4... I'm just gonna give it to the Lakers because I think the Lakers advance in this series. Lightning versus Stars. 60% of Twitch chat went with the Lightning. I am going easily with the Stars. I think the Stars are a much better team than the Lightning. And so I'm going with the Stars on that one. What the Stars have gone through to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. Stop it. Lakers in 4. Lethal Jerks, what's up, man? How you doing? Cryolex, get that confidence pick then do badly and picked on the following week. You're gonna start talking about NBA right now. That's where we're at right now. So again, look at the ticker and you're all set. Yeah, we're talking NBA. You can hit me with whatever questions you want. I'm gonna start with the Eastern Conference Finals. But if you guys want to talk about something in particular, then just let me know, okay? And we'll get into it. So I'm gonna start with Heat versus Celtics. The Heat wind up taking game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. So game 1, I had already picked it this way. Going into game 2, I thought, I think the Celtics are gonna bounce back. I still think that the Celtics, and this is despite some stats that I'm going to throw at you, but this is despite the fact that I do think that the starting 5 for the Celtics is more talented than the starting 5 for the Miami Heat. Okay. When I look at their personnel, I feel like they have a more talented group. Now, what's really interesting about this, anyway, well, hold on. So Heat wind up taking game 1 in overtime off of a crazy nasty block from Bam Adebayo on Jason Tatum. So it was a really, really nice block. It was a crazy intense game. It was back and forth. Game 2, I really think comes down to one thing, and it was the Celtics got out coached. I think the Celtics have a young team very similar to the Heat. However, the Heat are definitely, the culture around the Heat, and I've been talking about this for several weeks, is that the culture around the Heat is super gritty. It's hustle. It's effort. It's a reflection of Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. And so these guys, they're not going to shrink in the big moment, right? Because they're just going to out effort you all the time. That doesn't mean that they can beat you all the time, but they're definitely going to out effort you. And so I think what wound up happening here is you have 2 really young teams, one of which is going to be super gritty all the time, really, really, really tough backbone. And the other team is young, lacks experience, right? Their head coach lacks championship experience, right? And so they don't have that culture there, right? So the Celtics, when they're riding high, they've got tons of energy. But when things start to go wrong, you start to see like chinks in the armor, right? And so I really do think that what happened in game 2 was you had a situation where Brad Stevens got out coached, and we can get into some of those specifics. But one of the things going into this series that I said, thank you, I appreciate that, CG. Thank you very much. What's up, M7381? Folking, how you doing? Welcome back. Nice to have you back again, Folking. Kid Putty, what's up? How are you? So what is this table? Like, I understand a sports show, but what's the table for? This is our pick'ems. If you want, when I finish my NBA segment, Kid Putty, I can go over it again. There's a brief video that you can watch that I did, and maybe if you take a look at that real quick, and then that way you get up to speed on it. We'll cover NBA, and then I can give you a breakdown on it as well. Okay. What's up, Vipers? No Cap. How you doing? Hey, Hapless. I think Brad Stevens is a very good coach. Going in, so So that, I have to repeat some of this stuff because I don't want people to think that I'm being one-sided. I think Brad Stevens is a very good coach. I think he's one of the better coaches in the NBA. But when he's facing Eric Spoelstra, I have to give the edge to Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra has more experience. He has more championship experience. And something very, very important, Eric Spoelstra knows how to manage personalities. He had to manage LeBron James. He had to manage Chris Bosh, and he had to manage Dwayne Wade. That is a three-headed monster that you really learn from, okay? So Brad Stevens is still figuring that out. They have a blow up in the locker room after game 2, which we're going to discuss as well. And so, but first, let's talk about coaching, right? Which is when those two go up against each other, I think they are going to, like, I just have to give it to Eric Spoelstra. That doesn't mean that Brad Stevens is not going to get the better of Eric Spoelstra throughout the course of a game, because I think he's capable of doing that, because I think he's a good coach. And he may even get the better of Eric Spoelstra in a whole game too, right? Like, they may win a game because of Brad Stevens, because again, he is a good coach. I think the only issue is that I think you have to give the edge to Eric Spoelstra. Now, so that was what I had said about the coaching matchup for this series. But then I said, I think the Celtics have the edge when you're talking starting 5. Thank you, Mioneta. Thank you. So I think when you look at Celtics versus Heat, the starting 5 for the Celtics have the edge. But then the Heat have the edge in terms of their bench, right? In terms of depth. So let me give you some stats. And we went over game 1 stats on Wednesday when we did the Power Hour show. But let me give you some stats. So in game 1, the Celtics starters scored 96 points, right? The Heat starters scored 95 points. So the Celtics did have the edge with their starting 5, but just by a little, right? By literally 1 point. That's not enough. That's not enough for them to have the impact you need them to have. I'm going to just pause for a second. So Best says, bruh, Celtics have deepest bench other than Denver. So you are a madman, Best. You're a madman, okay? I will give it to you that in the Raptors series, there were moments, and not the Raptors series, I'm sorry, in the bubble, Best the CNA, the Celtics bench has outperformed. They have done well in the bubble. However, there were games where they were completely invisible, and all you have to do is go back and look at the stats, okay? The stats do not bear out what you just said. They were outscored 47-7 against the Raptors in terms of bench scoring, okay? Like, that is crazy. But the thing is that their starting 5 overcome that because they're so good, right? So in most cases, there have been several games. So you're talking about a deep bench. With a team that several games in this playoff run, they've only played 7 players the whole game. 7 players the whole game. And you're talking about crazy depth? That's not depth, homie. Yeah, that's not depth. Okay, but anyway, here we go. So let's see how it kind of pans out, right? So and not just that, to say that the Celtics have better depth than the Miami Heat, that's false. I mean, I don't know. Like, again, I think what you need to do is go back and look at some of the stats, right? Like, sometimes you watch a game, and this happens to me too, is sometimes you watch a game and you're like you get like a feeling, right? Like, it's the flow of the game. But then when you go back and look at the stats, you're like, oh shoot, like, man, it didn't seem like that, right? So what I would urge you to do is actually go back and dig into these numbers. Now, So game one, Celtics starters score 96, Heat starters score 95. So you're a point differential, right? So it's not enough there. The Heat bench scored 22 points and the Heat bench score 18. So again, the starting 5 didn't do enough to kind of offset that, again, that differential. Now, if we look at game two, I broke these down as well. So the Heat starting five scored 90 points and the Celtics starting five scored 85. So again, if we're looking at what the strength of the Celtics are and is, right? It is their starting five, and they were outscored by the Heat in game two. That's a really big problem. Like, that can't happen. That just can't happen. But we're going to get into some of that here now. So also just kind of continuing to talk about depth and bench, right? Is the Heat bench scored 16 and the Celtics bench scored 16, right? So they were even. So the thing that needs to tip the scales there, obviously, in any matchup at that point, is going to be their starting five. Now, to go back to what CNA was saying, CNA, if you're still there, I think the problem is, I think this is the problem, is that Hayward is out, right? Right, yes. Oh, we're on the same page, bro. It becomes different team with Hayward. Yes. Exactly. Dude, you and I right now, like laser beams, lock eyes. Look. CNA, look into my eyes. Are you with me here? CNA, look, I'm only okay. Yes, all right, good. Okay, yeah. So right, so the thing is that you don't have Marcus Smart coming off the bench, so that really hurts that second lineup a lot, right? And it's gonna hurt with rotations. Now, if you can, this was a question we asked on Wednesday, which was because, okay, see, guys, I actually I disagree with you here. So he says with Smart on the bench, it becomes a huge bench. I don't think it becomes a huge bench. However, I do think it is way better, right? But this is what I was going to say, and I'll ask this question again. I asked this question on Wednesday, which is, if Hayward comes back, do you put him in the starting rotation, or do you have him come off the bench? Number one, because he's going to have to play fewer minutes, right? Because he's just coming off an injury. This way, you kind of like ease him back into it. Number two, you don't upset the chemistry of the starting five because Smart seems to be a bit of a head case. He's very emotional. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's like very volatile. If you take him out of the starting lineup, it seems like he's going to take it personally and you may lose him. So he's been playing great. He was their best 3-point shooter in the Raptors series. So I personally would have Hayward come off the bench, and then if Hayward comes out strong, then no harm, no foul. He's got to be better than the other five guys you have, right? Like your second string. And so maybe he provides good energy, quality shooting, and you keep that other nucleus going. And then in the fourth, then you can mix things up. Like in the fourth quarter, you can mix things up. What's up, Hairline? How you doing? Guys, you gotta get into the pick'ems, baby. The pick'ems are only up until we do battle trivia. So if you're gonna get in here, you gotta get in here now. What's up, Blint? How's it going? Being the only Heat lifer in here, I know how no one likes the team, but just like the Alliance, we are very welcoming with bandwagon fans like Covert will be. Number one, I'm not a fan. Okay. Number one, I'm not a fan. All right, Silent. Have a great day, man. Thanks for hanging out, bro. I appreciate it, dude. Take it easy, man. Enjoy your vacation, Silent. Be easy, man. So anyway, but so there's the real issue that took place in this game was, I think, experience on the part of the players and experience on the part of the coaches. So Brad Stevens, so the Heat play more zone than any team in the NBA. They have played more zone this season than any other team in the NBA. You don't really see the zone much in the NBA because you can pass around the zone and you're going to end up with an open shooter at some point, right? Assuming that you operate your offense properly against the zone, right? And so a lot of NBA teams stay away from it. You see it a lot in college. But in the NBA you don't, because they understand how to break that down. They have more talented players, and so you're going to get the ISO and you're going to end up with an open look, and you've got, stacked shooters. So but the Heat do it intermittently throughout the game, right? And they do it to try to throw teams off until those teams punish them for running the zone. Now, the other reason why the Heat run the zone is because they're so young. They have very good athletes. They're still super quick. And so they can run down that shooter pretty well. So when you see that the Heat are running that zone, what you'll notice is when that pass gets to the open shooter, assuming that the other team is operating, running their offense properly, then you're going to see a Bam Adebayo flying across the court to try to get to the open shooter. So, and that was one of the things that happened to the Heat in a previous series with a lot of fouls, because they're lunging to try to get there when those teams operate against the zone properly. Now, the issue here was, so the Heat played poorly in the first half. They were able to tie up this game, right? And they come out in the third, and they wasn't looking good for the Heat. Like, the Celtics were playing very well. The Heat ran the zone in the third, and Brad Stevens never made an adjustment. So that was a huge problem. It was just an enormous issue. The Celtics were not prepared for the zone. They wind up with 11 turnovers in the third quarter. They had 20 turnovers in the entire game, which is really high, but 11 in one quarter is crazy. So, so the Heat end up scoring. So, where's my breakdown here? So Bam Adebayo has a huge third quarter. He winds up getting 14 points in that third quarter. He goes 7 for 8. So Bam Adebayo really dominated in the third quarter. The Heat started running a pick and roll that the Celtics were not defending against. In the third quarter, the Heat outscored the Celtics 28-17, right? And that's when the Heat went on their run. Now, you got to hand it to the Celtics, though. In the fourth quarter, the Heat came off the zone, and the Celtics made a run. They actually wound up getting the lead again, and then they fell apart. And this is why I don't put it all on Brad Stevens. One of the things that happened in the game, and I don't know how much you guys watched of it, but Brad Stevens was on the sideline screaming, move. And so, even when the Heat even when the Celtics got a defensive rebound, the Celtics were just they were kind of coasting. They were cruising back down on offense. He's yelling at them to pick up the tempo, right? It wasn't necessarily lazy basketball, but it's interesting to me because Kemba Walker really does benefit off of pushing the tempo. I don't know if they were tired. I'm not sure what the issue was, but for some reason, the Celtics players began slowing the tempo down as their coach is yelling at them to pick up the tempo. What's up, Domania? How's it going? Witty, how are you? Witty, thank you for joining the Pick'ems. I really appreciate it, guys. We're at 56 people in the Pick'ems. Our goal is always to get 100 Pick'ems. Or 100 people in the pick'em. So if you haven't already done it, I would really appreciate that you jump in there. Do you think the younger team aspect is playing its role on the Celtics? Rot Power, I do think it's a factor. However, what I'm going to say to you is the Heat are very young as well. I think the difference is that I think they have Dragic, they have Butler, and they have Iguodala, and they have Haslam. Don't sleep on Haslam. So Udonis Haslam doesn't play, right? But Udonis Haslam is a champion. He is a champion, and he is a very prominent leader in that locker room because of that and because of his style. He's from Miami. So, there's a lot of things going on there. Jimmy Butler is a super gritty player, and he's had problems everywhere he's went because he holds guys accountable. And here with Miami, they love that stuff here. And then finally, Dragic is a wily vet, right? I've been saying now for I don't know how many months, Dragic is, I think, one of the most important pieces on the Miami Heat, because when he's not in the game, the Heat are a bit in disarray. Dragic is he brings all the structure to their offensive set. He really does. When Dragic's not there, and you're seeing it in these games. Ort895 said the C's played lazy as F. No hustle to get rebounds. Yeah, I mean, it could be a conditioning thing. It could be a conditioning thing. What's up, Taz? Taz, you're going to get a chance to vote for the next topic. So you guys decide what we talk about, okay? What's up, Legacy? How's it going? But so anyway, what I was going to say was, and let me see who was that asked that question. What's up, Con? It was Rot Power. So here's the thing, Rot Power. The Heat are just as young as the Celtics. And actually, the youth on the Celtics have more playoff experience than the youth on the Heat. They do. Like, so, I mean, when you look, Jaylen Brown was big in the fourth quarter. He scored 21 points for the Celtics. He hit 2 big 3-pointers in the last few seconds. Obviously, he missed the shot to tie. Okay, but he gave them the shot that, you know, like the only shot they had. Kemba Walker played much better than game one. He had 23 points. He shot 47% from the field, 36% from 3-point, and he hit some clutch shots down the stretch. He hit some clutch threes. So, I mean, I feel like Kemba gave you better play, although he had, so check this out. Kemba had 5 turnovers. Tatum had 5 turnovers, and Brown had 4 turnovers. But again, most of that came in the third quarter. I have a question. There are at least 40 people in chat that hate puppies. Why haven't they gone into the picks to prove their love of puppies? So Shadow has a theory. Anybody that doesn't join the pick'ems hates puppies. And the only way for you to prove him wrong is for you to join the pick'ems. Otherwise, then you are giving credence to what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Notable, do it with all the letters together, buddy. Do it with all the letters together. I'm just gonna throw some other things at you and then we can keep going. Oh my gosh, Witty Calf. Witty Calf, thank you so much for the prime, dude. Thank you very much for that sub. That was awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Dude, shout out, man. Can we get some hype in chat for Witty Calf on the T1 sub? Big Rick, thank you for the 5 months as well. I appreciate that. All the follows. Thank you so much for the follows. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Can we get some hype in chat? Like for reals, for Witty Calf, and for Big Rick. Big Rick, thank you for the 5 months, man. Tampa Bay. We're going to talk some Tampa Bay. Okay, where were we? Okay, right. So I'm just going to throw some other things at you. We talked about, because I've got a bunch of notes on this game. Butler was huge. He had 3 huge defensive plays in the fourth quarter. He forced turnovers or steals in the fourth quarter. He got 3 of them. And the Heat converted on all 3 to win that game. Dragic and Butler were clutch down the stretch. However, Butler, Dragic, and Bam had terrible first quarters. So this is not good for the Celtics. And I hate to say it, but Duncan Robinson, because I'm not a Duncan Robinson guy. I know everybody's like on the hype train with Duncan Robinson. I don't like Duncan Robinson. I think he shrinks in big moments, but he did get 12 points in the first quarter. That actually was what kept the Heat from getting blown out in this game, because Butler, Dragic, and Bam were nowhere to be found. And so if it wasn't for Robinson coming up with those 12 points, the Heat actually could have gone, like you could have seen a breakdown, right? And I'm just going to finish off with this. Is the Celtics after the game had a blow up in the locker room. Apparently reporters were outside of the locker room and they could hear people screaming, throwing things, and hype train. And Marcus Smart left. He like ran out of the locker room screaming. He said that everybody was tripping, and he left. So there was a blow up in the locker room. So this could go one of two ways. Apparently Marcus Smart was heard yelling about coaching and about effort. And apparently Marcus Smart was called out for taking a 3 in the fourth quarter that his teammates felt like he shouldn't have taken. Marcus Smart was their leading 3-point shooter in the Raptors series. He's not a superstar. And so, like, I understand how these things happen. But, dude, the guy got you through the Raptors series. Like, just because you lose a game, you don't say, like, bro, you shouldn't be taking those shots. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to go one of two ways, I think. The Celtics are now going to rally around this. You know, sometimes you got to, you just got to get things off your chest, and then you hug it out, and then you go out there and you just go into battle again. Other times, this ends up fragmenting things. You end up with some dudes that are salty, and they fall apart. So I think the Celtics should win tonight. But this is something I don't know. I don't know the character of these men. And so it's really hard to say. I think Brad Stevens is going to do a really good job coaching tonight. But the question is, does this locker room blow up? Does it lead them? Does it bring them closer together? Or is it going to fragment them? I don't know. I don't know because I don't know these men personally. And I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Jaylen Brown seems like a super even keel guy. I feel like he could be okay. Jason Tatum, I don't know about Jason Tatum because I just don't. Marcus Smart is a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, and if he feels attack, he might tank on him. I don't know. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna pick the Celtics, but I haven't decided yet. Let me just catch up real quick. What's up, Nugget? Welcome back, man. How you doing? Cage, I don't know. I have a problem hearing that the Celtics were just out of shape. It's probably my ignorance, but it feels weird. They're professional athletes. I'm not wording it right, but it feels almost like an excuse. It may be, Cage. Yeah, I try to figure out what are all the different reasons, but I also try not to get up here and be like, "Oh yeah, no, I know it's definitively this." What I can tell you is, without a doubt, Brad Stevens got outcoached in game 2 for sure. There's no two ways about that. He got outcoached. Number one, he got outcoached because he did not know how to react to the zone. He did not make the adjustments that he needed to make. Number two, he could not get his players to do what he needed them to do. And what I mean specifically, the tempo of the game. He was screaming. You could hear this man clapping his hands, yelling, "Move, move." And he was trying to just get them to get the tempo going, and they just were coasting. And so that's an issue. That's an issue. And so he got out coached from A to Z in game 2. I think he'll come back now. I think game 3, he will do a better job. Also, let's take a quick second here. Housen hooked us up, man. Housen hooked us up with some big subs. Housen gifted us up. So if I say your name, you were just gifted a sub by Housen. So Housen just gifted a sub to Holodux, Phoenix, Cup of Tea, Shawnee RL, City Sushi Coochie, Queen Frass, Josiah, Ghost Keep Gaming, Markoth, and Otapone. So if I just said your name, you were gifted a sub, all right? Thank you, Hot Soup. I appreciate that. Also, thank you for all the follows. If you are just getting here, we need you in these pick'ems right now, like this second, real quick. We'll talk any other NBA series you want to talk about. Let me know. We'll cover it right now. Otherwise, I'm going to speed round through it. But really quick, if you are here, just getting here, or today's your first day, what's up? My name's Paul. I go by Covert GG on Twitch. I've been streaming for 4 years on Twitch. I've been partnered for 3, and we work really, really hard. What you are watching right now is a show called This Week in Sports. We do it every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 12:30 p.m. Eastern. I also stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And I do a lot of video games during the week. So video games and sports, if you like that combination, hit the follow button, turn on the notifications, come hang out with us. We got a super chill group. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun here, and we would love to have you as long as you like to have fun too. So like I said, we try to keep things pretty positive here. If I'm talking about your team one way or another, I just want you to know I actually don't have a team in any sport. I'm not I don't play favorites. I don't have like a local team that I root for. I just like the sports, right? And so if I like the sport, we talk about it. That's why you don't really see a lot of baseball, because I'm not a big baseball fan. But that said, if I'm talking about your team, whether it be positive or negative, I just want you to know I just try to be objective. I try not to so it's not like an emotional thing. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just like, I'm watching what I watch and then just talking about it. So it's like we were at a sports bar and we're all chilling and I'm like, nah, man, those guys are not good. You're crazy. And you're like, oh, you're crazy. So this is just like, we're all friends. We're all hanging out. We're talking sports. Now, big announcement this week is we are going to start, we're going to start having 2 other sports segments on the show. Mondays, we're going to start doing a 90-minute segment in that same schedule that I just told you towards the end of the show. And Thursdays, we're going to be doing something called the Power Hour. So it'll be an hour segment on Thursday mornings. And then obviously we'll still have our Saturday show. So if you don't understand what this chart is, this is our pick'ems. And so we give a bunch of games. It's usually about 11 games that chat can pick. You pick right from Twitch chat. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything fancy. You just got to type something in chat and you're good to go. If you win, you get a $10 gift card. So each team has a letter that is next to it. So it's a corresponding letter to that team or to that fighter, right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to type in !picks, that's plural with an S at the end, space, and then you're going to get all those corresponding letters and you're just going to squeeze them all together like if it was one word, okay? And so if you do that, then you could type in !my picks in chat, and then that is going to give you kind of like a report back that tells you that your picks are in, right? And it tells you what you picked. If you don't understand what I'm saying and you're just better off reading things, or maybe I'm confusing, or my accent maybe maybe throwing you off, if you type !pick'em, which is up there on the board in orange, that will give you a breakdown on what you need to do as well, and it gives you the rules, okay? So we strive to try to get to 100 every single week. We're at 72, and so this is going to be the last time I ask you, okay? So this is the final warning. You need to get in there now, okay? I'm just saying. Otherwise, you're going to upset the balance of the universe. Twitch is going to start to glitch out, and you're going to realize that this is all a simulation, okay? New to the stream, but can you do baseball? So today we don't have baseball on the board, Shark Life, but you guys do get to decide what we're going to talk about, okay? If you guys have anything for me on NBA, let me know. I'm going to race through. I'm going to do a speed round on the rest of the NBA. But if you want to talk about anything, let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to put the straw poll up so you all can decide what the next sport is. So the question is going to be, what sport do you want to talk about next? And then we're going to put NFL. We're going to put NHL. We're going to put soccer, NCAA. And what was the other one I had on there? Oh, yeah, I think that was it, right? Is that all I had on the thing today? NCAA. Yep, that's it. Okay, so you'll have, I don't know, you'll have like 5 minutes to pick, okay? So there you go. All right, now let's run through it. What's up, Matt Berger? How's it going? Welcome. Okay, so these are the things I have. Make sure to tag me if you want to talk about something. Okay, so actually, Sport B, what do you think happens with the Clippers in the off season? So I put here Nuggets upset Clippers, and then I also put so Sport B, you're on the money, baby. You're on the money. So I put Nuggets upset Clippers, Doc in trouble ? And I put the Kawhi factor. Oh, we already voted. Oh, really? I'm sorry. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna end that poll. Sorry. So we're talking NFL next. Sorry, I didn't know that. Okay, my bad. Okay, thank you. I didn't realize that. Thank you. Maybe I need to start getting a DM on what was chosen. We'll get that worked out. I'm gonna start doing that. We'll have a mod that just tells me what we're doing next. So PG saying this season wasn't do or die. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. He's crazy. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, the Los Angeles Clippers were upset by the undercard, which was the Denver Nuggets, in a game 7. So the Clippers were up 3-1, and they allowed for the Denver Nuggets to come back in this series, okay, and win it 4-3. So the Denver Nuggets won 3 games in a row. Now, a lot of people had the Clippers as the favorites to come out of the West. I actually thought that the Clippers were a better team than the Lakers. Now, what's really interesting here is this is the third time that Doc Rivers has been upset when he has a 3-1 lead. So I put here Doc in trouble. The reason why I put this, because it's almost unfathomable. It's almost unfathomable to think that you would consider letting go of Doc Rivers, right? Because he's supposed to be such a great coach. But dude, how do you let this happen? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. How do they upset them? Say jokes about their mamas. Clippers on a 50-year streak of not making the Western Conference Finals. It's crazy, mi neta. If Doc goes, Kawhi won't be happy. He wanted to play for Doc with PG. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that, right? So I put here the Kawhi factor as well. So how many of you think that Kawhi Leonard regrets leaving the Raptors right now? Do you think he regrets it at all? Because if Kawhi Leonard would have gone back to the Raptors, I think the Celtics lose to the Raptors, right? They wouldn't have had to have faced the Celtics, or I'm sorry, the Bucs, because the Heat defeated the Bucs, right? If not, he regrets it. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's really cool. Where'd you get that emo, bro? No, he regrets not going to the Lakers. I don't think so. I don't think he regrets not going to the Lakers. Because I think that was more about, like, he wants to be the man, right? He had such a chance to go back to back. I know. I agree with you. Or, yeah. Lakers, Raptors final. Yep, I agree with that. Yep. He does regret it. He was on pace for a great regular season with the Clips, and the Nuggets aren't a bad team to lose to. It's just how they lost. Right, I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's more how they lost. Yeah, so if you go back and you look at that game 7, I actually put a bunch of notes here. But so, hold on, let me pull up my notes from that game 7. So, obviously, Jokic was insane. He actually did not score very much, but he did get a triple-double. He was 16, 22, and 13. Murray had 40 points, but he shot 60% from the field, which is insane. The real issue here is Kawhi and Paul George combined for 10 of 38 shooting. That's 26%. They were 4 for 18 from 3-point. That's 22%. But Paul George was miserable. He was terrible. And that's something that I've been saying for months and months. Even during the regular season, I have been saying for years that I didn't think Paul George was a superstar. And I know whenever I say that, people get like super upset. But dog, this guy has shrunk in every playoff series he's ever been in. Like, he is invisible. He's invisible. And he's just, I just don't think he's a superstar. I think he's an all-star, but I don't think he's a superstar. And so Paul George, and this is why I'm saying, like, somebody said, oh, no way they let go of Doc, because Kawhi really wanted to play for Doc and play with PG. Well, guess what? You know, Kawhi doesn't know how to build a team, obviously, right? And PG he disappeared in the playoffs, bro. Save this puppy, chat. Yeah. We need, how many do we need? We need 19 more people to get into the pick'ems, guys. Will Colo, what's up, man? He has more people to trust with the ball in Toronto. I agree with that too. Although Siakam, like, here's the thing. Okay, wait, I have a question. For you. Who would you rather, Paul George or Pascal Siakam? Now, last year's last year's NBA playoffs, Siakam came up big in spots, but he also shrunk in spots, right? Paul George just is not good in the playoffs. But Siakam disappeared this year. He couldn't do it. He couldn't be the guy. He just couldn't be the guy. But I would say that Siakam, at least when he had a superstar with him, was able to be a contributor. Paul George was just bad. Hey, what's up, Jake? Welcome back, man. Jake, get in the pick'ems, bro, because we're going to be closing those soon, man. I think we do one more topic after. Sounds like when Ariza left the Lakers and wasn't half as good. I don't know. I mean, Trevor Ariza had a really good season with the Houston Rockets. And he also got older, right? Like, that's a factor. Siakam needs a star next to him. Siakam last year was something else. He was, but like, he was not consistent. I feel like people overhyped Siakam last year in the playoffs. Siakam he'd have a good night, and then he'd have like, and then it wasn't that he had a bad night. He just wasn't really relevant. You know what I mean? People forget that Dallas gave them a hard time in the playoffs without Porzingis. Could have been. Yes, that's true. Yeah, Captain Cope was really big on that jump shot. Yeah, really big on that. What's up, Cabby? How's it going? Paladuster, welcome to the channel. Yeah, but normally doesn't do the poll until on the next sport, you know. Supposedly Siakam didn't practice any basketball during lockdown before going back to the bubble. Well, you know what, Blint? It showed then. And that you know what? That's irresponsible. What's up, Extremely Soup? How you doing? Welcome. Anyway, so I don't know. Listen, here's what I would do. If I was the owner of the Clippers, I would do a review. I would do a complete review. I would do interviews with Doc Rivers and the players. There apparently was a blow up between several players on the Clippers team. So that was an issue as well. But I would like Doc Rivers' future with the Clippers should be on the table, in my opinion, because this is his third time losing a playoff series when they were up 3-1. That is a problem for me. And the fact that these players, so the Clippers disappeared in that fourth quarter. Their defense was suspect. You could see that the effort was waning. Lou Williams in several games looked like his give a shitter was broken. Okay. So not feeling it. I think he has to be looked at. I think Kawhi needs to be spoken to. I think Kawhi, this load management thing with Kawhi is a no-go on this team. Next season, he needs to play more games. He needs to be a leader on this team. If you want to be a superstar, like go back to Kawhi, or not Kawhi Leonard, go back to Kyrie Irving with the Celtics, right? He was like, he wanted to be a leader. Well, we all found out that Kyrie Irving is not a good leader. And so Kawhi Leonard needs to figure that out, or he needs to go play with a guy like LeBron James then. You know what I mean? He needs to go play with somebody else then. I think he has the skills to be a superstar. I just don't know if he has the personality to be a leader, which is a big problem. Okay. Anyway, Western Conference Finals is Nuggets versus Lakers. Lakers wind up taking game one off of the Nuggets. Jokic had 3 fouls in the first quarter. Okay. 3 fouls in the first quarter. Did not play the second quarter. They put him in the third quarter, and he picked up a 4th foul right away. Was a really big problem. Dwight Howard was huge. I will say that I think officiating was sloppy in this game. It was very, very physical, which I don't have a problem with. But what I do have a problem with is NBA officials calling ticky-tack fouls in every single game. Then all of a sudden the Lakers face the Nuggets and we're going to play 80s basketball again. Listen, if you guys want to bring 80s basketball back, I'll be a happy camper. Like when I was talking hockey with Moses, the reason why I don't like the way Tampa plays is because they're more finesse. I like physical play. Like I want to see somebody get bodied, like intimidation. Like I want my sports to be physical. But what's weird is mixed messages. I'm not down for that. You guys are like, if I just like brush your hair, foul, right? But then the Lakers play the Nuggets, and all of a sudden the officiating is super loose, and Dwight Howard's going to be allowed to hit guys. I don't know, man. Like, and then you're going to call all these fouls on Jokic and Murray. I actually really did not like the officiating, and it made me like wonder a couple things, right? So I don't know. I think the officiating needs to get cleaned up big time. It needs to get cleaned up big time for this, because this was a huge factor. Huge factor. Lack of veteran leadership on the Nuggets. They do have Paul Millsap, but you know, obviously he's not that guy, right? Like, he's just not that guy. And so somebody needed to calm this team down. They were really upset about the fouls, which I understand, but you got to be smart, dude. You have to be more intelligent about this situation. And so Murray got into foul trouble too. Obviously, he got teed up as well. So I feel like in the second quarter, this game was already lost when Murray got teed up. And so it's a problem. Rondo looked phenomenal, which for me was kind of like a highlight. I used to like the way Rondo played with the Celtics. I haven't seen him play that way in a long time. I also have not been a big fan of Rondo's general disposition on most teams. However, he looked phenomenal. He looked like the Rondo of old. And so maybe he's inspired. But Dwight Howard played like a boss last night. Rondo played like a boss. And, you know, AD and LeBron are going to be AD and LeBron. And so this is going to be a really tough series, especially if the officiating is what it was last night. I think I'm going to put 200 on Kyle Trask from Florida on the Heisman. Mike Malone complained about it. 16 fouls in 2 quarters. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Nah, Jokic got balled out twice in the third. He should have had his 5th earlier. Yes, so King Henry, you're right. They did not call the 5th on him. He did foul in the third. You're right, and they didn't call it on him, because I think that was like one of those situations where they were like, we're not going to call this foul. Because if we call this foul, there's going to be a riot. Like, it was like, that was a foul for sure. Right in the paint on, I think it was Dwight Howard. So I agree with you. They did not call a foul on him, but that's the whole thing is, in the first half, they were calling fouls number one, they weren't calling fouls on Dwight Howard that should have been fouls, right? That's one. 2, they were calling ticky-tack fouls against the Nuggets. And then in the third quarter, when he commits a clear foul, they're like, no, we're not going to call that one. Like, it's just like, dude, call the right fouls. You know what I mean? That's fair, but he grabs people on pick and rolls every time he sets them. He hooks like crazy. Okay, that's okay, but you got to call the fouls on the other side too then. You know what I mean? Like, that's my point, is that the officiating number one, was not consistent with what we've been seeing in the NBA over the last 3-4 seasons. Not consistent with what we've been seeing in the bubble. And it was not consistent with what was going on in this game. You are calling specific fouls against Denver and then not against the Lakers. So it was very weird. It was very, very odd to me. So I don't know. I hope it gets cleaned up for game 2. We need 11 more we need 10 more pick'ems, guys. 10 more pick'ems to get to 100. I need you. Listen to me right now. Seriously. If you are in this channel and you are listening, all right, stop what you're doing. Listen to my voice. That's our pick'ems board. We do it every single week. If you win, you get a $10 gift card. Every week, our goal is to get at least 100 people in there. I need you right now. I need you to stop what you're doing. I need you to focus, and I need you to listen. I need you to type in !picks with an S at the end. It's plural. If you don't know what that means, then we have a really big problem. And then you're going to put space, and then you're going to put all the letters for the teams that you think are going to win. And then you're done. It's like the easiest thing you've ever done in your life. And then if you win, I'm going to give you a $10 gift card. What's the problem? Why do I have to beg? Anyway, so Nuggets end up dropping game 2. What else do we got? I think that's it, right? Like, so let me go back here. Nuggets upset the Clippers. Guys, I'm going to say it again. The Celtics series, I don't think it's over yet. I'm going to go ahead. I understand that this is tough, but I'm going to give the Celtics game 3 here. Okay? I think I'm going to give the Celtics game 3. I could easily see the Celtics falling apart, and I could see the Heat winning like a squeaker, but I'm going to go with the Celtics because I think Brad Stevens is going to make the adjustment. I think these guys are going to make the push, man. Going down 0-3 is so bad. I mean, if the Celtics do not win this game, there's a big problem there. There's a big problem there. So I'm going to go with the Celtics because I just can't imagine that they're going to lose this game. If they lose this game, all the Celtics fans, specifically Eric and Huddy, need to prepare themselves. Like, literally need to, like, sit down and take a deep breath because I'm going to go so hard. I'm going to go so hard. Oh, there. Huddy decides to show up. Celtics in 6 games. I'm telling you, Covert, I'm here for a quick minute. Busy morning. Well, Huddy. Listen, I could see the Celtics winning in 7. I could see the Celtics winning in 7, but they have to win tonight. They have to win tonight. If I had to make a prediction right now, I would say the Heat in 6 is, I think, what I would say. But if they lose tonight, it's GG. It's Heat in 5, I would say. Bro, I'm going to cry if the Celtics can't win tonight. Barely trying. They have to win tonight. All right, so NFL, right? NFL. So Thursday Night Football's matchup. So we had the Browns versus the Bengals, right? So the Browns end up winning 34. What up, Dazed? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm going to fall over right now. Dazed just gifted 5 subs. Ketcho, Socrates, Rontry, Mystery Shant, and Common Turtle. What's up, Turtle? Nice to have you back. Thank you very much, Dazed. That was very kind of you. That was very, very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much. Wow. Like, I'm gonna get emotional right now. Sheesh. I must be doing something right. Days must be delirious from his job. I know. My gosh. This is like a really big deal for if any of you know Days, this is actually like, it's like an honor that I'm like really honored right now. Where is the undo? That is an honor, man. Do you think the Seahawks have a shot at the Super Bowl without Clowney? For sure. Yeah, for sure, Mr. Clutch. I think the NFC is going to be really hard, though. Yeah. What's up, Young? Welcome back. So for us on the other side of the pond, any chance you can give us an idea of what's going on in the NFL and what's hype? Yeah. So I mean, so I would tell you that very similar to how I ask you all to help me with soccer, I can help you here. You know what I mean? So what I would tell you is let me pull something up. Okay. So that way I have all the teams in front of me. I can tell you which are the teams you want to keep an eye on. All right. If that maybe this helps out. So let's see here. So let's take a look at standings. All right. So here are the teams you want to keep an eye out for. Okay, Droll? So the Buffalo Bills, you want to keep an eye on them. So they are poised to have a very good season. This is a very important season. Their quarterback is a young dude that has a lot of potential, and there is a lot of expectations for him this season. Okay. So I would say you want to keep an eye on the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to say this and people are going to get mad. For the first 4 weeks, you want to keep an eye on the Patriots. All right. And I'm going to tell you why. So the New England Patriots have been the best organization in football for like the last 10 years at least, okay? And if we look at the Patriots, they just picked up a quarterback that was once an MVP. They're in a bit of a transition period. They're like the most hated team in the NFL, right? And they actually have a pretty tough schedule. So they're going to end up playing some very good teams down the stretch, or like here early on. So we're going to get to see whether or not they're good. So they're going to play the Seahawks tomorrow. The Seahawks are a very, very good team, Droll. They're going to play the Chiefs 2 weeks after that, and the Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions, the defending Super Bowl champions. They're going to play the 49ers 2 weeks after that, and then they're going to play the Bills the following week. So essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first 7 weeks of the NFL, you want to keep an eye on the Patriots just to kind of see what you're dealing with. Now, so this will be really interesting. If they were to beat the Seattle Seahawks, this would be like a shocker, right? Because they're not supposed to beat the Seahawks here. They're just not. And so it would be a shocker, but I'm actually paying close attention to this game. This is one of my preview games for this week. So I'm going to tell you, keep an eye on Buffalo Bills, keep an eye on the New England Patriots, all right? Then you want to keep a very close eye on the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Baltimore Ravens had the MVP last year, and unfortunately they've not done well in the playoffs, but they have been one of the best teams in the NFL over the last year for sure, and they had a really interesting run the year before that. So you want to keep a close eye on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sorry, on the Baltimore Ravens. They're a favorite to win their division, but the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is stout. They just got their starting quarterback back, and if they can keep him healthy, they're going to be in the mix, and they're going to have some interesting games, okay? So you want to keep an eye, Ravens, Steelers. The AFC South, don't pay attention to any of the teams there because they're all going to be trash. Maybe Indianapolis, I don't know. AFC West, I'm going to say you want to watch Kansas City for sure. Keep an eye on the Kansas City Chiefs. If you wanted to watch a game here, like in the first 3 weeks, I would say check out the Raiders, check out the Broncos. The Broncos have a really young, talented team, but we don't know what they're going to be yet. Okay. So, but if you want to check them out just to kind of see, and the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm thinking the Raiders are a year away from being a contender in the AFC. Okay. So this is a team that like you can start to watch now and watch as they progress. I think by next year they're gonna be giving the Chiefs a run for their money. I think they're gonna be in the mix. There's a possibility they could make the playoffs this year even, but I don't think they'll be like relevant in terms of like a championship, right? NFC East, you don't have to watch any of those games unless you want to laugh at the Dallas Cowboys. Then you don't need to watch. How about them Cowboys? Unless you want to make fun of the Dallas Cowboys, you don't have to watch any of the NFC East games. NFC North, you want to keep an eye on the Green Bay Packers. They have potential, but their organization has made some weird decisions recently. But Aaron Rodgers is a really exciting quarterback to watch, Droll. And Adams had a very good season last year, but he was hurt, and so the stats didn't bear it out. But Green Bay Packers are fun to watch, and so you can check them out. New Orleans Saints, for sure you want to watch. They're one of the better teams in the NFL. I'm not a big Drew Brees fan, but I mean, dude played like a boss in the first week, and the Saints are definitely a favorite to be in the mix. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, similar to how the Patriots, how I was saying you want to keep an eye on the New England Patriots, you want to keep an eye on Tampa Bay. Hence why I'm wearing their stuff today, because they've got Tom Brady. They have this high-powered offense, which was not all that high-powered in week one. So you want to watch it because you kind of want to see what the potential is going to be there. Their defense actually is pretty decent. and their defense played well against the Saints in the second half. So you want to take a look at that, but they do have some issues. They do have some issues specifically on the offensive line. Arizona Cardinals, for sure you want to watch. Seattle Seahawks, for sure you want to watch. Some folks are going to say you want to watch the 49ers. I'm not that guy. I actually said last week that I thought the Niners were going to have an issue, and they did lose to the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to watch Arizona and Seattle. So that's what I would tell you. Like if I had to do like a general kind of like recap on what you're going to see or what you want to watch, that's where I would guide you, Droll. That's what I would tell you you want to take a look at. Huddy said, finally we can agree on something. It's rough being a Giants fan right now. Dude, Huddy, you got to get better teams, bro. What about the AFC North? I think I had said there's, that's what I said. Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. I was saying AFC South. You don't have to worry about any of those teams. Huddy has been rough for a long time. The Giants have had like 2 good years in the last 15 years. When did they win the last Super Bowl? Niners got injuries now too. No Mike Evans in week 1 for the Bucs was the difference maker. No, he was in the game. Mike Evans was in the game. He was just hurt. So this is what I would say. I think Mike Evans was hobbled, right? So I think that that's a factor. I think that's a factor. But I think the real issue there was the offensive line. Yeah. So the Bucs offensive line is very suspect. Their left tackle is a huge problem. 76. His name is James. Last name is James. And so that he is a huge issue. Yeah. Like I actually want to say something, but I'm not going to, because I told myself that I was going to be more careful about the things that I say when I'm talking about players, because obviously you have to be good to make an NFL roster, right? Like you have to be better than the vast majority of other athletes, right? So I don't want to be disrespectful. All I'm going to say is that he was getting destroyed against the New Orleans Saints, specifically against Hendricks. And I feel like the tight ends, I feel like when they moved a tight end over, the tight ends also did not do enough to help. And so that's a big problem. And so there are ways to make adjustments from a scheme perspective to help your linemen and to be able to give your quarterback enough time to throw the ball. But the answer cannot be, oh, Tom Brady's got to get rid of the ball faster. No, dog. Like, listen to me. You're not going to win a lot of games in the NFL if your quarterback has a guy like basically wrapped around his neck the whole game, right? Like it's not going to work, right? Because pretty much like any quarterback that's under duress the whole time, any quarterback that is under duress the whole game is like, you're just not going to win many games, right? Like you look back at, and I have it listed right now as Thursday Night Football, but the Thursday Night Football game was very similar in that Joe Burrows was under pressure the entire time. It was insane. So I should have said games to watch. We'll start with games to watch, I guess. What's up, Boss Gamer? Welcome to the channel. Pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much for hanging with us, dude. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Give me a quick second, guys. Hold on one second. That's all right. Hey, guys, I just want to make sure you guys are taking care of me on this. Yofons, Housen, and Shadow. You guys got me covered. I don't need to worry about it. Yeah? Hey, Golden. What's up, man? Golden, I haven't talked to you in a little bit. Thank you very much. Okay, just making sure. He was also under pressure the entire game because they straight up left the run game. Yes. Okay, so White Rice Dylan. What's up, man? Welcome to the channel. So what's up, Boss Gamer? So yes, you are exactly correct. So I was watching the game and I was also in Discord and we were kind of just chatting back and forth. Before I get into that, I'm just going to tell you, type ! Discord. You can join our Discord if you want to talk sports, video games, if you want to hang out and play video games, or if you want to be part of our UFC watch parties. So once a month, we do a UFC watch party in the Discord, and it's just a bunch of guys and gals hanging out, drinking, having chips and dip and, talking sports, watching dudes in tights fight, and it's a lot of fun. So, so if you just want to talk sports, make sure to jump in the Discord and just, we'll get you with viewer status and all that stuff, and you'll be good. But so anyway, so I was in the Discord while this game was being played, and obviously all the Tom Brady haters were in there, right? But one of the things that I think we all were saying, White Rice, is like the Bucs need to run the ball, right? They need to run the ball. And they actually, Jones was doing a good job. He averaged 4.3 yards a carry in that game. But they stopped running. Like, they weren't running consistently. And as a matter of fact, when the Bucs were running the ball, setting up the play action, they actually had good drives. But then they just stopped doing it. It was weird. You got to give credit to the Saints defense too, right? Here's part of the issue, though, I think, White Rice, is the Buccaneers also made a lot of mental errors. So they had a lot of penalties. And the issue is, when you end up in like a 1st and 15 and a 1st and 20 situation, you're now operating behind the 8 ball. It's hard to focus on that run game. Like, you need to be running a tight ship. You need to be running a tight ship, focused, and not making mental errors, so that then you can capitalize on these things. But when you got to go 20 yards on 2nd down, like, it's hard to be like, all right, well, we're going to run the ball. Jones isn't a slouch, but actually running the ball doesn't have much of an impact on play action. Really, you think so? So let me ask you a question. If you do not run the ball, does the defense have to respect your play action? I mean, that's actually, I can't think of anything I would disagree with more. So not running the ball doesn't help build your play action. Bucs don't really run much play action, do they? Well, but the problem is here's the problem is, you now have Leonard Fournette, you have Jones, and you have Shady McCoy, right? So I don't think Shady made it into the game. Fournette played like very little, but he's only been on the team for 1 week. So I don't expect him to have a huge impact until maybe week 3 here, right? But Jones, I thought, was very effective. And so when Shady did play, okay, because I didn't see him get any action. But when Jones was running the ball, he's averaging 4.3 yards a carry, right? And when the Bucs ran play action, they scored touchdowns. That was just the bottom line. Like, that happened. But they didn't run the ball enough, I thought. I think they wound up with like 98 yards rushing total offense, which, whatever. I guess, that's something. I just think, I'm sorry, 86 yards, I think, was what they wound up with. And so I think you can do more there. And I also think that helps take some of the pressure away and off of Tom Brady, right? And I mean literal pressure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he can kind of get into a groove for him. And number 2, it also makes it so that the defense can't just tee off on him. And that's what was happening in this game. The amount of pressure that Tom Brady was under pretty much the whole game, like not the whole game, but like pretty much, was pretty, it was astounding, and it was really bad. But they do need to fix their left tackle play from James, and they had some situations with the guards as well. And so, like, there was interior pressure that got to Tom Brady. And so I don't know. I think, the Bucs have to fix some things. I think they get a bit of a toss up. Well, because we're going to do our preview. Yeah, we're going to go over games to watch this weekend. But I think I want to see the Bucs against Carolina, because I'm actually going to, I want to watch this game because I want to see if they have the same issues. I want to see how they run the ball. I want to see how they run their offensive set. I want to see what kinds of defensive pressure they have to deal with. And then I also am interested, I want to continue to see what the Bucs do on the defensive side of the ball against a guy like Christian McCaffrey, right? Like that's a big deal. Can they shut this dude down? Right? Like these are like, there's some, although the Carolina Panthers are not a great team, I think that this is a game where you can kind of, if you watch the whole game, you can start to pick up on what the nuances are for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you can actually see if they have some serious issues or if they've made some adjustments. And it won't be for a couple weeks until we see, because I think it's like week 5 that the Panthers have like a real game again. So this is almost like a preseason now for them. I'm not saying that they can't lose a game, because they can, but they shouldn't. And so I think this is where they're going to get their ducks in a row, and then they're going to end up against the Packers, and then they're going to end up against the Saints. And so they need to beat the Saints in the second game. What's up, Mr. Heck? How's it going? I got the bad guys beating the Bucs at almost 3-1 in a bunch of my parlays. Sorry, bro. Oh, so you think the Carolina Panthers will win, Bubba? So on the screen, you'll have the team's players. Yeah, does somebody need me to give them a breakdown? There's also a command, Yofons, that has a video that explains it. No, they don't. If a team doesn't respect the run, then they don't have to respect the play action, because it's a run fake into a pass. The defense can just play the pass, period. Correct. I agree with Aries Raging. I mean, it's not like you just ignore the run game, but you don't have to bite on it, right? What ends up happening is, generally speaking, right, if a team is destroying you on the ground, right, defensively, you have to make adjustments, generally speaking, okay? So if you have, essentially, you're going to put an extra guy in the box, you're going to have the safety shade in, you might have a DB shading in, you know, so what ends up happening is when you're getting destroyed on the ground, the defense has to make adjustments to try to deal with the run. So now, in terms of, your aerial attack, right, it's going to open up those kinds of plays. So essentially now, let's just say something really basic, right? So you have your strong safety is gonna shade in, right? He might not be in the box, but he might cheat a little bit. So now you have a safety that's cheating, right? So a quarterback like Tom Brady can read this, right? And so he sees what the situation is. You're gonna have play action. The safety's already cheating in, right? You run the play action, assuming you sell it well. Now that safety, he's already inclined to play the run, right? He's already cheated and he's in a bad position defensively if it's a pass. You run your play action, he bites. How does that not feed into a better passing attack? It's just, again, it defies logic, and that's just, I mean, I don't know. When I played football, that's the way it was. And when I coached, it was like that too. So I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe I'm missing something here, and it is possible. Like maybe there's a part of the discussion that I missed because I don't see everything. Make sure that if you're trying to talk to me about something, you tag me. Make sure to @CovertGG. And then that way it marks it for me on my screen and I know you're addressing me. Because I know there's a lot of different discussions that take place here that I'm not necessarily a part of. And so if I miss it, then, whatever. But just if you're trying to get my attention, make sure you tag me. Exactly. The defense and can just play the base defense instead of stacking the box. Yeah. And it's not necessarily stacking the box because some coaches won't do that. But you definitely can have like a safety that's maybe cheating over. You know what I mean? The Panthers are a 3-1 dog against the Bucs. I think that's a nice bet. I'm a Pats guy. Tom Brady and Gronk are very old, and the personnel on that team are overrated for that reason, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, only overrated in that, like, if you think Gronk is going to be a big part of it. Like, I don't think Gronk, like, I don't look at the Buccaneers and think, oh man, Gronkowski's going to be the difference maker. I've never thought that. And I also don't think Tom Brady is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I think what he is, so when I look at the Buccaneers, I see a lot of young talent outside of Tom Brady and Gronkowski. And I see a lot of high-powered weapons on that offensive side of the ball. Okay. And I see a guy that is probably the best game manager in all of football, right? He has championship experience and he can still make the throws. That's why I think the Buccaneers have a really good shot this season. But at the end of the day, I think any team in football, you need to be able to control the line. And if they can't do that, the Buccaneers won't go anywhere. So many wasted thoughts on football. Hey, man, pulling in some great numbers recently. Love you. What's up, L-Docs? How's it going? Okay, so we're talking soccer next. Okay, cool. No problem. So games to watch in the NFL, unless I missed something, is... So I want to see the Buccaneers against the Panthers. Either way, Bubba, hey, listen. But 3-1 is 3-1. I agree with that. Yes. So, Bubba, make sure that you stop by later next week so we can talk about it, okay? Make sure you stop by later next week so we can talk about it and see what happened, okay? So, but either way, I'm saying Bucs, Panthers, a game to watch because there's been a lot of hype around the Buccaneers. And if they fall to the Panthers and they fall 0-2, it's a really big problem, okay? It's not a big problem, but it's actually... It's a sign that like maybe things are not going to go the way that everybody thought. Okay, so that's out. So, but I would say watch that. Okay, Panthers are 0-1, Bucs are 0-1, Buccaneers have O-line issues. Can Brady be better? So that's that. Also, Teddy Bridgewater, right? Teddy Bridgewater, although they lost their first game, Teddy Bridgewater did not look bad. McCaffrey got his yards. So it's an interesting matchup, all right? The other game that I think you should watch is Seattle versus the Pats. So Seattle versus the Patriots. It's a home game for Seattle. Russell Wilson looked phenomenal. Phenomenal in week 1. Again, I'm gonna say what I've been saying is if I had to pick a quarterback this season, I would pick, and I said this weeks and weeks ago, if I had to pick a quarterback this season, I would pick Russell Wilson over Patrick Mahomes. So I would pick my picks, I think, for quarterback. If I had to win a Super Bowl this year, I think I'd go Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes. I don't know who I'd pick as my third. I think I'd go Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I think I would go. This would be my pick. These would be my picks in this order. If like let's say I was doing a draft and like guys weren't available, right? But I had the third pick and I could, whatever. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, and then Aaron Rodgers. I think those would be my 3 picks. So anyway, so Seattle versus the Patriots. It'll be interesting to see Russell Wilson go up against the Patriots, although their defense, the Patriots defense has had a couple of issues in terms of losing players. Like because of the coronavirus and all this stuff. The Patriots defense is still decent, right? And you have one of what people consider one of the best defensive minds in terms of coaching with Bill Belichick. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of scheme they run against Seattle. And I really so I want to see how Wilson does. I want to see how Wilson does against the defense. I want to see how the Patriots react to Wilson. I want to see how Cam Newton plays against the Seattle defense. These are kind of these are the headliners for me in terms of this specific game. Like, I am very intrigued to see how this plays out, okay? What's up, Kaiser? How's it going? Cole, what's up, Cole? Is that right? Razor strikes? No, I know a lot of people say that, but no. Nah, man, I'm just me, brother. I'm just me. What's up? Vexen? How you doing? Your third has to be Gardner Minshew. It has to. He's goated. Where do you got Dak as the top tier quarterback? We did this a while back. My knee-jerk reaction, Jenkins, my knee-jerk reaction to Dak Prescott is he's not top 10, but we talked about this like 3 months ago when all the thing was happening with his contract. And I went through and I listed all the quarterbacks, and I think he was like number 9. So I guess he is in my top 10. I guess he is in my top 10, but I, you know, like in my mind, I think like, well, there's got to be 10 quarterbacks better than Dak Prescott, but no, I think he wound up like number 9 or something, or something like that. It was he was definitely not in my top 5, like for sure he's not in my top 5. Rodgers will be top 3 quarterback this year. I think he's very hungry. He is top 10, will be paid top 3. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, I don't like that system. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way the NFL handles quarterback pay. Yeah, I think, you know, everybody says that the NFL is a meritocracy, right? Like you have to merit whatever you get, but then quarterbacks for some reason don't. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're not one of the best. You have to get paid like you're the best because you're the guy that's next up. I don't like that. Like, I don't understand. There's like this there's a contradiction with how the NFL does this. And then the other positions end up paying the price for this. So running backs get hosed, receivers get hosed, defensive players get hosed. And it's just a very, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I think it would be a darn shame if that continues. I think quarterbacks need to be treated like the rest of the players. Dak or Cam, and why? Oof, I would take Cam Newton. Yeah, Razor. Yeah, I think I would take Cam. You know, it's actually tough. So let me tell you why that's a tough question, Razor. So if you would have asked me, I know, Scooby, be quiet. Okay, here's the thing. I think Dak Prescott is a good guy in the locker room. I don't think Dak Prescott is as good of a quarterback, or I should say, he's not as good of an athlete as Cam Newton. And so I think that Cam Newton has more upside potential to have the impact on a game than Dak Prescott. And so I think the only thing that I think would make me lean towards Dak Prescott is I think he's a really good guy in the locker room. I think his teammates like him. And I think he is young. So he has youthfulness, so he has his health, and he's a good leader. Cam Newton, on the other hand, is obviously getting older. He's been banged up. He's been hurt the last 2 seasons, right? But his physicality, his experience, he's an MVP, right? So those things are going for him. And I'm not really sure that Cam Newton's a really good leader. I'm not sure. We'll see how it plays out this season. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Do you think Russell Wilson will win MVP this year? That's so hard to say. Like, the NFL is so difficult because there's so many injuries, right? I don't know. That's anybody that tells you a yes or no on that is just full of shit, Clutch, right? Like, the guys on TV, they'll like say stuff like that, and then, you know, they'll give like the reason why, but those guys have no idea. They can't say, oh, I don't know, right? Because they're on national television. Technically, I'm on Twitch doing this show, and maybe I shouldn't say I don't know. But like I said earlier in the show to somebody was saying something, I don't fake the funk, you know? Like, the reason why I have a shaved head is because when I was 30, my hair started to thin out, and I was like, I'm not going to pretend like I have hair, right? Like, I know what's coming. I'm just going to fully commit. I'm like a commit guy. I go all in. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm never going to BS you guys. And if I don't know something, I'll just tell you, you know, there's probably a lot of things in sports that you guys know more about than I do. And I bet if you have like a local team that I don't get a lot of opportunities to watch, you probably have more knowledge about those local teams than I do, because I just don't have the access. I don't have the money to pay to be able to get NFL pass, right? And I have kids and a wife, and like, so I can't literally watch every game, but I try to watch the most important games so we can talk on those things. But I rely on you guys also. So this really is like, you know, the way that this show is run, it really is a community effort. And that's why, like, I don't have a problem saying, like, I don't know soccer all that well, and chat helps me learn it. And so I don't know, we just trying to keep it legit, bro. You know, like, I'm not trying to like front on anybody. Let the Chiefs. I know they are God's gift to the earth. Jamal Adams is a beast who can even sack the quarterback and is a true cornerback. Well, I mean, listen, Jamal Adams was very good in college. He had a good rookie season. I think he has a lot of potential. But you know, I mean, you gotta give people more time for you to understand, for you to be able to see who a player is and who they're gonna be. And so, like, listen, Jamal Adams could end up being a bust because he doesn't have the size, right? And so he could end up breaking down, right? He's just young right now. He's hype, but you know, sometimes these guys that end up forcing their way out of teams end up just like fizzling out. So I think Jamal Adams has a lot of potential, right? We're gonna see where he goes. But I would not like crown him a badass yet. You look like my dad. Did you ever hook up with a lady in 2004? No, I don't think so. Plugged. I don't think so. Beast or bust would be a good segment on the show. Oh, that's actually a cool idea. I like that. Yeah. Jamal Adams looked insane. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, he has a lot of potential for sure. But I just, you know, I try to like temper things. Yeah, Aqua, there's no sense in doing that. This show is really good, man. You're killing it. Thank you, Captain Bubba. I appreciate it, man. And I appreciate you coming back, Bubba. Thank you very much. All right, so that was that. And then I'd also recommend the Ravens versus the Texans. Now, I don't have a lot of aspirations for the Texans. I think they're a poorly run organization. I do think they have one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. And the Ravens have received all this hype, right? And so it'll be interesting. And the Texans eliminated the Ravens from the playoffs last season. And so it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. So I think this is an important game to watch because you have one of the emerging quarterbacks in the NFL, in Watkins, but it is possible that this organization has really hurt his career, and they're going to go up against the Ravens, which is, you know, probably the second favorite team in the AFC to come out into a Super Bowl. I think, you know, the Bills and them are probably pretty close, although the Ravens get a lot more hype than the Buffalo Bills do. And so I think, you know, people would probably rate the Ravens against the Buffalo Bills. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up here. It'll be an interesting quarterback battle. So I'm putting this one here because I need to see, has Houston mismanaged this man's early career? Are the Ravens really that good, right? And so, like, let's see where it ends up. The Titans eliminated the Ravens. Sorry. Okay, thank you, Clutch. Thank you, guys. The Ravens are flashy. They're also unconventional. And so it's always interesting to watch that, right? Like, you saw the Houston Rockets in the NBA playoffs, right? They're playing a unconventional basketball. But when they go up against what the traditional look is with the Lakers, they got romped, right? So it'll be interesting. Like, maybe that's why the Ravens never do well in the playoffs, is that like gimmicky kind of like this other style works in the regular season, but in the playoffs where a team can really focus on you, they can shut it down. I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's why I put this here. I feel like this is an important matchup. You know, and so we'll see how this one plays out. The other games, there's a lot of like softball games this weekend. I felt like, you know, they're like the matchups, like the games should be pretty one-sided, I think. The Ravens beat Houston 41-7 last season. Understood. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, the Ravens should win, right? Like, you would think that it would be an easy win for the Ravens. But that's why I'm saying, like, I'm trying to see two things here. I want to see what is the situation with the Texans, right? Are they going to end up 0-2, right? And are the Ravens the real deal? Like, you know, like how does it work out? The Texans, I have it in my notes, like Texans are in the decline, you know. I kind of think the Ravens like the Bucs. Oh, from the NBA. Okay. Yeah, it's possible. And the Ravens might get over the hump this year. Texans are Garbo this year. Yeah, I put it. I mean, the Texans are in decline. I think them letting Hopkins get away for less than a first round pick is insane to me. There is a possibility that O'Brien is just going to destroy this organization. How he's still there, I'm actually a bit surprised, but I don't know. Maybe they'll prove us wrong. Maybe they know something we don't know. Even if the Texans go 0-2, they would have played two of the best teams in the league. That may be the case, Tom, but you have to be able to win those games if you're going to make the next jump. So if you're okay with them going 9-7 and getting bounced in the first round and being like, all right, well, okay, you know. But at this point in Deshaun Watson's career, right? The Texans should be competing head to head with the Ravens and the Chiefs to become like the top three teams in the AFC in the AFC. And instead, what we're saying is, oh, the Texans are regressing, right? So you have to be able to win these games if you're going to make that jump, right? And so that's why I think this is really important, because at number one, I think it would highlight what I think is a travesty by them allowing for this to take place, right? Because it's been 2 seasons now that we've been kind of seeing this situation unfold or devolve, you know? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. What's up, Mello, Dan, Canadian Surprise? What's up, Surprise? Nice to see you. I still don't know why Hopkins got traded when they gave Deshaun Watson a crazy contract. Maybe they had to trade him in order to get the contract. I mean, Hopkins just signed a crazy deal, right? So, like, maybe that was the hang up. They knew they weren't going to be able to keep him. You have to be competitive in those games. They were not competitive against the Chiefs. Agreed. And they probably won't be competitive this week. And that's a problem. I agree with you, Judah. Yeah. Bill O'Brien as a GM is terrible. He's a decent coach. Well, and that's one of those things, right? Is like, you know, how do these guys get the credentials to be like how do you base their credentials to know that they're going to be a good GM? All right, so I feel the Denver Broncos are going to have a bad season. I mean, listen, Mello, I think anybody that looks at the Denver Broncos and says, oh, man, they're going to make a run this year, or like, oh, they're definitely going to make it to the playoffs, I think it's like, I don't know, you must be a homer, because nothing that the Broncos have done over the last 2 seasons has said to me like, oh yeah, this is a playoff team. Is there a chance? I think they do have young talent and maybe they could squeak in. But if we look at the AFC, how many playoff teams are there going to be this year? Is it 7? They just changed it. What's the number? Somebody tell me what that number is, because I can't remember right now. Big B, what's up, man? Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Ace, thank you for the follow as well. Welcome to the channel. How you doing? If you guys want to jump in the pick'ems, Denver's a wild card team at best. Okay, so I don't even know if they are. So Scoobs says 7. Okay. So Buffalo's gonna make it to the playoffs for sure. Baltimore's gonna make it to the playoffs, right? I think the Steelers make it to the playoffs. Kansas City's going to make it to the playoffs. So that's 4 teams. So we got 3 slots here. I think the Patriots will be in the mix. So that's 5 teams, right? I think I would put the Raiders ahead of the Broncos, right? And I think the Colts or the Texans could maybe squeak in. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Titans for sure. Like, I think I'm gonna go with Titans. Yeah, so those are our teams right there, right? Is Titans are gonna make it in. So we got Buffalo, New England, Baltimore, Steelers, Titans, Kansas City, And then I would say that I would go with the Raiders. You know, so like I think that 17 could end up being Raiders, Chargers, or Indianapolis. Right now, I'm not willing to say the Texans. That's why I want to see this game, because I want to see if the Texans, I got to see what's up with them, you know? I don't know. We'll see. What about the NFC? In terms of who I think will make it to the playoffs? I think Seattle for sure. Seattle for sure. New Orleans for sure. Green Bay. I mean, the NFC East is a joke, but I mean, somebody's got to make it there, right? Like, who's going to win that division? I don't know. I was thinking the Eagles. I'm going to stick with the Eagles for now. But I don't know. That was a disaster last week. So that's 4 teams right now in the NFC. I think Tampa's going to get in. I don't know, man. Like Arizona, the Rams, that could be a toss-up there. I'm going to say one of those 2 guys. So that's 6. That's 6. I honestly don't know who the 7th would be. I'm not going to bullshit you. I won't bullshit you because I don't know. I don't know who the 7th is. The NFC is tough, bro. Let me tell you something. If the NFC East was not a trash division, the NFC would be insane. But the NFC East is such a trash decision, man. What's up, Fly On brother? How's it going? Hey, Jake, thank you for...
I miss NHL talk again this week. I have a tea time coming up. Rip me.
All right, Jake, take it easy, man. Have a good one, brother. Hey, have a good luck in your on your golf game today, man. Thank you for the 5 spot, brother. We'll catch you though. Thank you, man. What's up, Tilfer? How's it going? Truthos, how you doing? Hurst, oh, Sonata, what's up, Sonata? All meat, no potatoes. Yeah, I would say Titans too. All meat, no potatoes. Mikey, man, what's up? How you doing? Tyler. Oh man, I missed a bunch of people here. John Drell, JT. How y'all doing, man? Welcome to the channel, by the way. Welcome to the channel. Gentleman Rich, what's up? ST. What's up, y'all? I'm not a sporter, so I'm just lurking today. Hey, that's no problem. Thank you, Gentleman Rich. I appreciate you lurking. Yeah, for sure. NFC East and AFC South should just fight each other for a playoff spot. That's actually, I like that idea. I really like that idea, Blint, because you know what the truth is? That neither of those 2 divisions deserve to have representation. I mean, although, like, I don't know. I mean, like, the Titans could be, like, really good. But, like, for a wild card spot, I'd agree with that. If the Bengals had a solid O-line, Joe Burrow would pop off. Tyler, it does actually look like you're right about that. But we don't know, right? Because we're not there. But I would say that I tend to agree with you. Although there was something interesting, Tyler. I do feel like the Browns were playing at a different speed than the Bengals. The Bengals looked really slow in that game. Yeah, the Patriots never do anything. What's that? No, he said NFC East, Harley Quinn. Yeah. He said NFC East. Not AFC East. NFC East. Bengals O-line was pretty trash. It was very bad, Tom. Burrow got hit a ton. I was saying at the top of the show when we were going over the game, because it was in the previous pick'em, like last week's pick'ems, I was saying that he could, I mean, I think we could end up seeing him get hurt. We could end up seeing him get hurt if this is going to be the way the whole season's going to go. What's up, Lucid? How you doing? Tizzle, thank you for jumping in the pick'ems. Appreciate it, man. Harley, are we on the same page now? Do you do NFL picks? I don't know. I don't like necessarily. I mean, if you ask me, I'll tell you who I think. I mean, I'm not like, I'm not like a guru or anything. I try to, I know I've said that a couple times today, but I'm not trying, like, I don't want anybody that's new that comes in. I don't want you to be like, oh man, like, because I don't think anybody's a sports expert, right? I think you watch the games. If you have some experience playing it, then you can draw on some experience. But generally speaking, when you're watching, you know, these sports networks, these guys get like a bunch of these games wrong, dude. Like, because nobody really knows what's going to end up happening. You know, there's no way to predict freak accidents and all this stuff. Like, listen, I've played a couple sports in my life. I've watched sports growing up. I watch the games and I try to analyze what's going on. I take notes on it and then I report back to you all. But, you know, so like, I'm not here like, oh yeah, like, you know, take my advice or anything. This pick'ems is for fun. It's something for us to have fun with. You know, like I keep saying, this show is more like a bunch of dudes and dudettes hanging out at a bar, watching games, talking sports. That's what this show is. Okay. So for me, that's what I enjoy anyway. 61 pass attempts in his rookie debut. It's crazy. It is crazy. Okay, good. Okay, Harley Quinn, just making sure. Yeah. I didn't want you to think I was crazy or anything. Tizzle, thank you very much for the prime. Welcome to the channel. If your rookie QB throws 62 times, you're gonna lose. Well, not just that. I mean, if you look at that game, I do have some, I put down some notes here for that game. Where do I have that? So I put Burrows takes a huge shot in the third, and he really did seem like he was rattled. It winds up fumbling the ball there. He was under constant pressure. I put the Browns defense played at a different speed, and I really do believe this. The Browns defense, like the Bengals offense, was in slow motion. Like they were playing in bullet time, and the Cleveland Browns defense was insane. Like it was a complete mismatch. Chubbs and Hunt, dude, I think this is the season where Chubbs and Hunt really produce. I still don't think the Browns are going to do jack all, but yeah, I mean, I was just like, I couldn't believe it. If we look at, I want to pull this up because I want to take a look at this. So Joe Burrow was sacked 3 times for 31 yards. All right. On some of these, it was brutal, right? Like some brutal hits. But aside from that, he was under constant pressure. Like he was under constant pressure for sure. But I also question his pocket presence. Like, I don't know if he has good pocket presence, because there were certain instances where the pocket did collapse, but he wasn't under pressure. And then he was like sliding to his left and putting himself in danger. That was 1. 2, when he took off to run, he was doing some crazy stuff that you don't want to see your rookie quarterback do. Like diving into defenders. Like you need to stop that like right away. Like you need to stop that right away. So I think part of the thing is, and this is what we were talking about with Tom Brady, right? Which is, you are not going to win a lot of games if your quarterback feels like there's a guy straddled on his back the whole time, right? Because what starts to happen is they start to feel like there's a guy about to hit them even when they're not. And so it felt like Burrows was maybe like bit by the Eli Manning bug. So like a year ago, Eli Manning was like seeing ghosts, right? Like he didn't have a guy next to him and he was like freaking out and throwing the ball. And so Burrows kind of looked like he had a little bit of that. Kid doesn't know how to slide. He needs to learn it, Tizzle. That's college, Joe, for sure. That'll have to change. Otapon, I mean, that's a big deal. He's gonna get hurt if he doesn't fix that. He just needs his line to hold for 2 or 3 seconds at least. I don't know if you're gonna get that though, Otapon. You know what I mean? I don't know if the Bengals line is gonna give you that, bro. It's a really big issue. If Baker Mayfield gets better, the Browns will have a really good offense. Yes, I would tend to agree with that. But what I will say, Will Colo, is they gave up 30 points to the Bengals. 1 second. Pardon me. What I will say is the Browns defense gave up 30 points to the Bengals. I don't think that should have happened. And I would say that, like, I'm still not a Baker Mayfield guy. What's up, Iceman? Welcome back, dude. What's up, brother? Pete, what's up, man? Pete, welcome back, bro. Pete, are you already in the pick'ems? Did you join? Watching him at LSU, he had great awareness and pocket presence, but he also had an insane line. We got a red shirt Joe Burrows until Bengals get a better O-line. I would not disagree with that, Judah. Yeah. If Mayfield leaves the Browns, their offense will get better. I'm still not a Mayfield guy, man. There's something there's just something there that hasn't triggered, like hasn't clicked for me, man. Okay. Did I pick all my games or did I leave one out? Because I think I picked Celtics. Yeah, I picked Celtics. Okay. Burrow OP. I mean, I think he has a shot to be. Yeah. What's up, it's Fets? How's it going? All right. So where are we? So I put here Steelers defense, man. So the Steelers are gonna play. Who do they play this week? Hold on, let me back up and look at the schedule. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers are going to play the Broncos this week. I think this should be a really easy game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only thing I'm going to say about this is that there's like a storied kind of like past to Steelers versus Broncos. There's a lot of history between these two organizations. And so sometimes you see this kind of thing where like a team is better than the other, but they always play each other real tight. And so I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. I want to see how the Steelers defense plays this week. But if they come out full-blown nasty in the next couple weeks, they've got to play the Broncos, which is a young, talented team. You know, temper expectations, but a young, talented team. They got to play the Texans, and they got to play the Titans. And so really that Titans matchup is the one to watch. But I still, like, I don't know, man. The Steelers, I think, could make some noise. So the Steelers defense looked really, really good against the Giants. Specifically, the Steelers held Saquon Barkley to 6 yards. So I put here on my notes, defense legit ? The Giants are not very good. However, Saquon Barkley is a phenomenal running back. However, there is one little thing, is that Saquon Barkley averages 2 yards a carry if you take away his rushes over 35 yards. It's rushes over 10 yards on a carry. So essentially, if you remove Saquon Barkley's big playability, he averages 2 yards a pop. So where Saquon gets his stats is when he does a breakaway. And so I don't know. Saquon is still interesting to me. Like, it's something like TBD-ish. But they did hold him to 6 yards. They did not allow for him to have any breakaway plays. He got 6 yards. That's a pretty big deal, right? And he's obviously healthy this season. So I don't know. So we're going to see, that's why I'm saying I still TBD on Steelers. But I think the Steelers defense is really good. And I think they're going to make noise this season. Yeah, Zonked. I think the Steelers are going to make noise. Agree. Steelers need to upgrade the quarterback. Really? And the Steelers do play down to their competition. That's true. I don't think so. I don't think they need to upgrade quarterback. I think they need to get a young guy to replace Ben Roethlisberger, but that could be a developmental guy. Sorry. So I think they can have a developmental guy that they start to bring up. They should have had a developmental guy 2 seasons ago, is what I would have liked to have seen. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm picking the Eagles. Somebody freaked out on me for picking the Eagles. I understand that the Rams looked hot in week 1. The Rams should beat the Eagles this week. However, I'm going with the Eagles because I do think the Eagles have solid potential. However, I think they have solid potential. They looked really bad in week 1. I just don't think they can afford to lose week 2. Like, they just can't do it. Like, I really think If the Eagles lose this week, it's a big problem. Miami in 4. You missed NBA, Jackwagon. Yeah. Yeah, I think if the Celtics lose tonight, I think it's Heat in 5. But I think if I had to pick the series, Jack, right now, I think I'm saying Heat in 6, but I need to see what happens tonight. I have to see how the Celtics respond. We did, Duffel, man. Yeah, we spent a lot of time. And we haven't won a game without Lane Johnson since Carson got drafted. Yeah. Lane Johnson's very important. It's the same thing. Like when we're talking about O-line with these other teams, you think Woodley will... Oh, darn it. What the F are you smoking? So UFC for me usually is about the nicknames. Yeah, I'm not... I like UFC. I've talked about this before. Like, I'm going with Woodley. When last seen, I liked Woodley. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. You can come make fun of me if I'm wrong. What's up, Marion? How's it going? 10% of teams who go 0-2 at beginning of the season make the playoffs. What's up, Get Bagged? How's it going? Lane Johnson, always my must tackle too. Our young guys couldn't hold down. The Rams are going to stomp the Eagles 100%. It could happen, but the Eagles cannot afford this. They cannot afford this. This is a really big problem. No, the reason why I say them going down 0-2 is really bad, Get Bagged, is because last season was a disappointment for the Eagles, okay? Even though they made it in and all that, it was still a disappointment for them last season. So that's one. And I think there were some coaching mishaps last season as well, right? They let go of Nick Foles, and there was a lot of questions around that decision. And so I think that you could see like a reaction, you know, like there's going to be like if the Eagles go down 0-2, the amount of pressure on the Eagles, players and coaches, is going to get really, really bad. And I think that it could almost lead to like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I mean? Fortunately for the Eagles, they're in the NFC East, though. I think Carson got overpaid. Maybe Scrubby. I would say given his injury history, I would agree with that. His performance, I don't know. Okay, thank you, Shadow. Yeah, for sure. They were talking about the teams who go 0-2 almost the entire night during the Bengals and Browns game. Was that really? Is that what they were saying? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, I don't care about that so much, especially Get Back because they're in the NFC East. And I fully expect the Dallas Cowboys to self-implode, right? Given their history. I think the Washington Redskins, I don't like, you know, like I just think the NFC East is a joke, you know. The NFC East is just a bad division. Those teams are mismanaged other than the Giants, although the Giants aren't very good either. I think it's Eagles-Rams going to be a similar game to the Sunday night game, Cowboys-Rams. So you think the Rams just smoke them? Not just that, but like I also was thinking that Carson Wentz might be really up for this game because he's going up against Goff. How about Burrow's performance? Yeah, we were talking about that. That was amazing. Yeah. I agree with you, Get Bagged. It's just really sad. And this was one of the things that I put here. Oh, I didn't put it here. I didn't put it here, but you know what? I did it for the Power Hour, Get Bagged. So we did a show called the Power Hour on Wednesday of this week, which we're going to be moving to Thursdays. We're not going to bring that show back right away, but we're going to be bringing that show back. But I put there, like, do you guys think Joe Burrow should have forced his way? Do you think that Joe Burrow should have forced his way out of getting picked by the Cincinnati Bengals? Because I mean, you may end up having wasted this man's entire career. It would be really sad to see his career destroyed. He's an Ohio guy. I understand that, but His career's over. The biggest highlight in Joe Burrow's game Thursday night was the fact that he threw no interceptions and get bagged. He did fumble the ball, but so he did have a turnover. But yes, I mean, that is super impressive with the amount of pressure that was on that man. Man, I'm late, but did somebody already say the Bears? No, but they did say,
how about them Cowboys?
same thing Eli Manning did. No, because forcing yourself out is a trash move. I don't know. I don't know if it is actually. Like, given the way that these drafts work, right? Like, the players don't have any options. You're like held hostage by a bad team. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't blame the fumble on him because of the fact he has a terrible. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. I wouldn't hold the fumble against him. I do question. I'm going to keep saying this. I do question his pocket presence, but his offensive line is a huge issue. Yeah. He should not sign a long contract and get out as soon as possible. That's exactly right. So what's he on, a 4-year deal, Rom? I don't know, man. Can someone explain the draft system? They don't have it in soccer. Correct. Okay, so Droll, the way the NFL does the draft is basically all the teams, right? So they have rounds. So I think, I don't know, how many rounds are there now? I think there's still 7 rounds. So I think it's 7 rounds, right? And then each team gets a pick based on where their record was. So the first pick goes to the worst team. The second pick goes to the second worst team, so on and so forth, like that. Okay. So the issue is that in the NFL, there are certain franchises that are just poorly managed. And so when you get this incredible talent and this individual gets stuck on one of these organizations, it's rough. Record and playoff position finish. Correct. Yes, correct. Well, right. Like, that's why I just say record. Like, I kind of factor in playoff as a record. Same with Saquon. Offensive line is trash and the QB overthrows you every time. Richest team get the best players. Oh, yeah. Soccer doesn't have a draft. They just buy players. Yeah, but here's the flip side, Tizzle. This is what I do like. I like that soccer has, I like that football in Europe, right, has this farm system where they bring the kids in at an early age and they are tasked with taking care of like their finances, right? In the sense that, like, they have to go, they have to educate them, right? So they have to go to school. I like that. I like that because so often youth sports in this country, the kids are not compensated at all throughout their lives, right? And then at the college level, we have all this turmoil right now with college sports because the athletes are not compensated, right? And then, these guys get hurt and then they can never play again, right? I like that the teams have to have a vested interest in you since you were young. So I do actually like that. I don't like the politics that you guys have with FIFA and all this stuff. I don't like that. There's a ton of corruption there. It actually really turns me off, that because it feels like government to me. And I feel like it feels like politics. And I feel like I'm already so disillusioned with political systems in general and government everywhere in the world that I'm like, it's actually a really big turnoff for me. Like, that is actually the thing that keeps me from really getting into soccer, because it actually is such a big turnoff. And I've had a couple people tell me, like, oh, just don't even like learn about how it works because it is disgusting. But it's just hard for me because I'm trying to understand the things that are going on. Like the situation with Manchester City and all that, like that stuff like really triggers me. And so like, I don't like that stuff, but I do like that the teams have to have a vested interest in the youth. I like that. Yeah, we don't have the same level of college sports as the US over here in the UK, right? Yeah. And I think the US will never do what you guys do over there. And for two reasons. Number one, the reason why they won't do it is because college sports is a bit like multi-billion-dollar business. And so they're not going to let that get away from them. So that's one, right? Two is the way that labor laws work in this country. You could never do this. You could never do what you guys do over there. So like politics will get in the way, and then college corruption, and actually politics in college sports, because most of the major universities are public universities, so they're owned by the government, right? So it's just So this week is going to be rivalries. So it's going to be rivalries. So I'm going to click join now. The game is going to start in 80 seconds. So you have 80 seconds to join. There's going to be 10 questions. You're going to have 10 seconds per question. In between questions, there's going to be a 60-second battle phase or battle planning phase. This is going to be where you can attack the other people in Twitch chat, okay? So this is a competition. This is a duel to the death. All right. So, and we have teams. So we have a couple different teams. One of them is the Alliance, and we cannot allow the Alliance to win. The Alliance cannot be allowed to win. You have 44 seconds to join. If you have not joined yet, type !trivia, click that link, get in here, sign in with your Twitch, blah, 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 and get in here because you only have a few seconds. 30 seconds. Now, your attacks do have a cost. You have to pay for these with the points that you earn, right? So some of the attacks are close quarters, which is it costs you two of your points that you earn. You get a 10% reduction if you do dropping dimes. Flip the script shows the question upside down. Vertigo spins the question into view. You also can shield yourself if you see somebody attacking you. So you actually get a notification when somebody attacks you. All right, first question. The New York Yankees have faced what team more than any other in the World Series? Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, San Francisco Giants. Oh, we got it. Oh my gosh, I got that with like 0 seconds, dude. Please tell me I got that right. Yes, I did. Okay, good. Okay, Seagood is in first place. Seagood is in first place. Kinger is in second. And TV Brain is in third. TV Brain is in third. Suspense is ahead of me because he answered it faster than me. He's a quicker reader than I am. So Team Alliance is not on the board. They are in fourth place. This has to... So I'm being attacked by Kopaja. I'm going to shield myself. So I've equipped Masturbator. I am now shielding myself with Masturbator because Kopaja is attacking me. I'm going to save my attacks for a little bit, though. It looks like Eddie is attacking Seagood. Seagood, somebody attack Eddie. Suspense attacked Eddie. Good job, Suspense. Good job. Looks like PTS is in seventh. What two teams have met each other in the Super Bowl more than any other? Steelers, Cowboys, 49ers, Bengals, Patriots, Giants, Cowboys, and Bills. Damn. This was going to be my first answer, was Steelers and Cowboys. Damn. I got that one wrong, boys. Not good. Oh, PTS. Dude, I just highlighted PTS. PTS goes from 7th to 1st on that one. Okay, first place, Kingers in second, and CLMR, the Dallas Cowboys fan, is in third place. Deadman is attacking PTS, Chubby's attacking Kinger, and BJ is trying to slaughter CLMR. Housen is on the attack. I cannot shield myself, but can I attack somebody? I don't know. Who do we want to attack? Where's Eddie? I think I'm going to attack Eddie early, and I'm going to hit him with a vertigo. There we go. All right, 10 seconds before the next question. 10 seconds before the next question, gang. Here we go. Here we go. I cannot shield myself from Housen, unfortunately. This is a problem. In all-time head-to-head play between Manchester United and Liverpool, what outcome has happened most frequently? Liverpool. God darn it. I got it wrong. Dead Scooby. What is going on? This is wild. Where did PTS go? PTS is back down in 6th. He is on a +3 streak, but he took too long to answer. So the quicker you answer, you get bonus points. And so Scoob answered it right away, and he's now in 1st place. Oh, Judah in 2nd, Kinger in 3rd. Team Alliance nowhere to be found. Wrecking Team Alliance day by day, son. I can't shield myself. You guys are scumbags, by the way. Can I just say that for... Dude, I'm getting my butt kicked, and you guys are picking on me. You guys are a bunch of jerks. My gosh. Wait, Scooby's Alliance? You're not Alliance. You're not... Listen. Oh, shoot. What 2 teams... 3 Stanley Cups. Who just did that to me? I couldn't. There was. So what just happened there was the attack that they just put on me was the 4th letter of every word is gone. So it makes reading it a nightmare. It makes reading it a nightmare. So anyway, I can't shield myself. I have no points. Hot diggity, dude. Hot diggity, man. Patch Adams. What are you guys doing? This is terrible. Why are you guys picking on me? Culver, you are welcome. Kopaja, you got me. You team killed me yesterday when we were doing viewer games. And then now you did this to me. This is terrible. 12 seconds on the next question, you scumbags. If you haven't joined yet, you can still join in late, guys. What a scumbag. Patch. Dude, I didn't even attack you. You've been attacked with close quarters. Oh, how many times have the Duke Blue Devils met the North Carolina Tar Heels in the NCAA basketball tournament? Really? I went with the highest number there. I had to hurry. I had to hurry there. Asses never. Stop attacking me, Shadow. I'm driving. Okay, so Kinger can no longer be attacked. That's it. This is the final attack. You cannot attack Kinger anymore. That's it. All right, so I just attacked Scooby because he's a scumbag. So I'm on him. Scooby. So right now, Kinger's in 1st, Scooby's in 2nd, and Judah is in 3rd. We have to get rid of Scooby. So listen, guys, we are working on creating clans. So eventually you can join a clan and then you guys can help each other. So if your team is on the podium, you want to attack the people that aren't on your team, because eventually we're going to create like a leaderboard and your team is going to get rewards for winning. So you want to get your guy. Oh gosh. In the 115 NCAA football games played between Ohio State and Michigan, how many wins separate the 2 teams? Ah, damn it. I was wrong. What's the right answer? 7. Oh, the scroll wheel screwed me there. Yeah, the scroll wheel. I didn't see what the option was. Judah coming in 1st, taking the 1st spot. Kinger has been dethroned. Kinger, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We have to get Scooby. I have no attacks remaining. Somebody attack Scooby, guys. Somebody attack Scooby. We have to attack him. Good job, BJ. Oh, no. Eddie's bringing up the rear. He's in 4th. This is very bad. Dude, these questions are so hard. It's ridiculous. Oh, you're a Buckeye fan. Is that right, Dead Man? So bad at all games. Still need more attacks. Oh, man. Whew. Well, we are talking about something. Yeah, so next week, we've been discussing if you if you are in the Discord, you'll get an extra attack. So we're working on some things where you can get, okay, how many NBA championships did the Boston Celtics win against the Los Angeles Lakers before the Lakers finally won? Ah, it was 8, really. Look at that, man. You learn something new in this channel every week. I don't know that I've gotten any answers right other than the first one. So anyway, Judah's still in first, Kinger in second, Scoobs is still there, man. And Scoobs cannot be attacked. How, dude, how have we allowed this? Tizzle, where the hell are you? I need you to beat both of them. Dead man, you guys gotta get some right answers. So anyway, so one of the things we're working on is like we'll like have like a thing for Discord, and so if you do that, then you'll get an extra attack, right? So like little things that like incentivize more participation in the community is what we're looking at. These questions are these are hard, dude. This is no joke. So remember, the topic is rivalries. Something we probably should do is highlight what the topics are during the week. So if anybody wants to do research like Jeopardy, right? 4 seconds here, 4 seconds on the next one, 4 seconds on the next one. Here we go, gang. Which player listed below did not play for both Barcelona and Real Madrid? This is a guess. I have no idea. Fernandez Morientes. I mean, good job, C. Good. See good. Oh yes, Dead Scooby's out and Eddie's out. This is great, guys. Good job, excellent work. Judah in first, Tizzle in second, Kinger in third, and See Good in fourth. That's what we need to do. We need to suppress Scooby and Eddie. The alliance cannot be allowed to be on the podium. It doesn't matter if we lose, they just can't win. The soccer one wasn't really a rivalry question. Why can't the question just be about the Chiefs and the Kansas State Wildcats? 14 seconds on the next question. We are at 8 of 9 for battle planning. We're at 8 of 9 for battle planning here, gang. 4 seconds, 4 seconds. We need to hold the line, guys. Going into the fight of the century in 1971, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier had combined for how many wins with 0 losses? I have no idea. Okay, good. It's okay. It's okay. Listen, all is not lost. All is not lost as long as... Oh, look at Scooby and Eddie. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. You guys suck. You guys suck. I am so happy right now.
Oh, let's get rid of the sucker.
Oh, man. Ooh. I'm so glad you guys are losing right now. Teams, yes, but a player... Oh, shut up, Suspense. Stop complaining. You're trash, Suspense. It was because he decided not to play for the rival. Boom. There you go. Good job, Raging Goose. You shut him down. He's dumb. Suspense is dumb. Gummy God, what's up, buddy? How's it going? I literally just click and answer immediately. Let's see here. Listen, you guys, look, it's a sports show. You guys need to get better. Over the course of their careers, John McEnroe and Borg met 14 times, with each winning 7. How many of those meetings were Grand Slam? 4. Oh, let's go. Let's go. I finally got one right. Son of a... No, what? What? Are you kidding me? This is rigged. This show's rigged. This show is rigged. I finished above you. That's all I care about. You sabotaged me. Wait, how does one join the... Oh, twins, we already finished it. Yeah, that was it. That was the last one. T-Rash. Listen, this is rigged. How's that possible? They were out of the game. Scoobs and Eddie get it right? You know, the problem was the margin of error was super tight. Judah had it locked. I mean, he was at 3,000. Judah's a brain. Judah's a brain. Judah, you want to be on my team? Judah is amazing. I mean, blew everybody away by over 1,000 points. Whoever writes these questions is a lover of all things awful, Covert. Financial Fair Play says no to that trade. What the hell, man? I'm pretty sure they hacked the game. Beginner's luck, my first week playing. You did great, Judah. Covert placed 31st, and he's saying it's rigged. Yeah, because the Alliance...
Nice work, bitch.
The Alliance paid the officials. Thank you, Covert. Not even top 30. Well played, everyone. 4th place, not bad for 2 a.m. in the morning. Good job, Tizzle. Oh my gosh, Seagood. Seagood, I'm so hurt right now. I can't believe this happened. Listen, guys, the reason why I'm not on the board is because my answers don't count against you because I don't want to hurt your feelings, okay? So that's why my thing doesn't go on here. I'm just saying. First time watching and playing, love the stream. PTS, I'm so happy to hear that. So happy to hear that. Thank you for joining us. Did you follow PTS? Yes, you did. Excellent. Good job. PTS, very nice. You and I right now, we're good. Can we talk about the fact that I still beat you? I beat Covert, so it was a success for me. Here we go, making up excuses. Wow, what a sacrifice. If Silent does 0 soccer questions, they will never win. Housen, thank you for gifting a sub to PTS. Housen's a really big jerk, and he hates the channel, and he never tunes in. So I just want to say thank you to him for gifting a sub to PTS. Hashtag better than Covert. I forget about that command. I also demand a release. How do you change teams? We're working on all that stuff. We'll have it soon. Yeah. There's no, you can't leave my team. Wait, I can't squint that much. What ranking did Covert get? What's up, Rogue? How's it going? Welcome back. Man, Rogue, you missed it, dude. You missed the show. All right, guys. Listen here. Let me get this trash off my screen. I need to get this trash off my screen. Anyway, listen, in all seriousness, as always, I want to say thank you to everybody to coming out for the show. We have been busting our hump on this show, and we're about to work even harder, adding 2 more shows a week. So, you know, I spoke with my wife this week, and I spoke with my wife, and I spoke with my mistress, Silent. And so basically they both told me I need to work harder to make this channel a success, and that I was trash and that I wasn't doing enough. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work even harder. We're going to add 2 more shows. And I hope that if you're not already following and you don't have notifications on, I hope that you'll consider doing that. I hope you'll consider a little bit of tough love. I hope that you'll consider joining us on Monday. So we'll be back on Monday, and we're going to be doing video games and stuff. But I appreciate you guys hanging out here. I also want to give another shout out to NordVPN. Again, if you type in !Nord in chat, you're going to get the link. Nord is officially the sponsor of the sports show for this month. And so they had confidence in the show, and they're backing us. I hope that you guys take the time to click the link, check it out. 68% off. I mean, it's almost free, so there's a bunch of reasons to take a look at it. But if nothing else, make sure to support the channel so that they see that we're a good partner, okay? If you're already using a VPN, fire whatever you're using and jump here, okay? Make it happen, baby. Anyway, thanks for everything, and I really hope that you'll check us out in the future. Have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe. Don't do anything crazy. Just be an old dude like me, okay? I am going to throw a raid over to somebody. I have no idea who right now. I have to look to see who we've shown love to this week and already and who we need to show some love to. But thank you all for everything, and have a great weekend. All right, enjoy your time with your families and your friends. Peace out, everybody.